I forgot that this thing ain't even plugged up. I'm on a soundboard. What's the deal, y'all? Oh, man. Hey, Queen, I haven't seen you in a while. Right. What's this stuff going on the computer over here, man? Let me get my backup going on here. Get my backup going. Nate the Great. To the live, man.
Hey dude, how you doing?
What's the deal, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. I don't know how much of your statement what you're doing is trying to be like Afrocentric and shit, which like I can't read into too much, but do you want me to tell you a funny story about my DNA and me shit that I did? DNA ancestry that happened to me
What
recently?
was the
Growing up, my family swore by being Italian. Like hardcore
mhm.
Christmas, big Italian dinner, everybody get together, always make spaghetti. And I did the test and I found out I'm only like 5% Italian.
Right.
So we're like, we're like shit. But also that's like a little lesson using my favorite thing, food, the difference between race and ethnicity. If you're doing it right out the gate, then that's what the fuck you are. Because if that's
Right.
what you believe, you know what I mean? Even though
Exactly.
I found out I'm mainly English, which is just horrible food. So we stuck with Italian, but it was cool. And now I'm hearing all these people like don't trust 23andMe ancestry. Like it's not as accurate as you think it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's got to be. I'm blunt when I say shit. Do you think that's like a thing with black people where like you find out different countries in Africa that you could be from? Do you know anyone who's done that?
Wait, say that one more time on that end. I would just turn my volume up.
Could you do that yourself and find out you're like 30% Nigerian and you know what I mean?
That's what I'm
It,
saying. I don't
it
even really read deep into that because I feel like we all mixed by now.
it'd be cool to see. It'd be
Say,
interesting to see.
yeah, I know. I already know they is. A lot of people be thinking they 100% in what they is and stuff. Like, no, I don't care because they judge by the color of their skin and all that. But
Yeah.
it's a reason to this topic of why I'm doing this though because it fits more into because just my room in general, it's like it's like unity. I'm looking for like unity and stuff, you know. So
Yeah.
I think it's better because a lot of stuff we be separating each other over some BS, and we really all the same. You know, just like religion, we separate each other on that, and
Yeah.
color our skin separate. Like I'm trying to show us a bigger picture to things. So yeah, and that's the reason why I'm be doing this because
I end up on black TikTok a lot and I hate being like the one white guy that might like fuck a guy's show up just by like making it not look credible or some shit.
but why?
so but it's interesting to like learn at like a person to person level. Like that's what I get
hmm
out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People aren't
One
gonna
drop
lie and
rule for
shit.
all, or just, and I'll be hearing about this one drop rule. That's the reason why I was talking about that dominant gene. I got that. I guess that got to deal with that dominant gene thing that Coretta talking about. So I say, even if that's the case, I feel like by now everybody should have that one drop rule in them. That means everybody the same by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, the other part of genetics is your health.
Good looks, man. Yep. Yep. You see, yeah, correct. You get what I'm talking about for sure. Yep, that's what I was saying. Yeah, there's a lot of people be saying and not really thinking deep into what it is. It's like it's either we all the dang near the same or we all mix. So I'm like, it's one of the two by now because you know it's been many years of mixing and stuff,
Yeah.
and I doubt people side by now. And then most of the time we going off for our nationality, which is you know what we born at and all that stuff, you know. So that's like really what we be getting, or that I'm African American, or I'm something like, you know what I'm saying. That's just the land that you live on. So we call ourselves that. Then okay, black and white, that came from, you know, I think they made that to.
I've heard
That's
that.
recently got made. Race is a new thing. You know what I'm saying? Nationality is way older than race and all that stuff.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big thing for people spreading their seed is the fucking military. Guys join the army and shit and go overseas and just have like kids everywhere. That's gotta help like mix the country up or
Man,
the world up.
I consider myself Danish. That's because I'm 80% Danish, and that's why I was wondering what like percentage people go, like their highest percentage. That's what they go pick to be. That's why I was wondering that too. Um, what's the deal? Rest. What's the deal, man? Welcome to the live.
What's up, man? How y'all doing? I ain't want to interrupt, the ideas flowing. I'll
Oh
probably
yeah,
say as far as like percentage though, I don't even feel like percentage play a factor. Like let's just say a mix of like, black and Caucasian, for instance, right? I feel like they got equal footing in both settings because they can relate to each demographic. So like I feel
right.
like percentage don't really matter because I feel like they got an equal footing in both settings. And if you just mix with a whole bunch of shit like Italian, black,
Exactly.
white, Spanish and shit, like you just mix as hell, like, and I feel like you might be able to speak on each one of those things just because you
All
mix
of
with
them,
that
right?
thing.
That's what I be
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, like dog, I pick and choose with y'all because I got it all in me. You know what I'm saying? If I want to feel YT today, that's what I'm gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So what if I want to?
And
I
like
mean,
all the
how you gonna
all
tell
the
me?
African Americans, yeah, man, all the African Americans, they don't be realizing that like uh you know as far and I mean we sold our own people, so I ain't like just getting on YT people as far as like slavery and shit. Like we all
Nah,
had a
Yeah,
fam,
part to play
slavery
in
was
that shit,
entirely our
but like
fault.
I mean, but
Like, bro,
it
we
was
ran the East
people.
India Trading Company and we colonized every continent.
Yeah,
Like,
I
bro, it's
mean, but
okay to blame us
it
for
was
that.
people.
At least
It
in
was
this
people
country.
selling their own people as
Yeah,
well,
at
though. It
least in
wasn't
this
just
country.
like people just
Well,
conquering
so, bro,
shit. It was
like,
also, yeah.
Rez, can I tell you a little bit of history real quick?
So hold up, everybody, hold up. I want to
What is
take a
the
commercial break real
introduction?
quick.
hey, Afro, mute real quick. Yo, just loud in the mud.
Yeah, hold up. I just want to take a quick little commercial break. If y'all can, please tap the screen, share the live. Hold on, tap the screen, share the live.
Got
Let's
you,
get this up,
AJ.
10K in likes. You know what I mean? Share it out to your friends. Please stay respectful in the live. Respect everybody who's in here, so on and so forth. We can always agree to disagree. If you cannot follow the rules of the live, just understand that you don't have to go home, but you don't have to be here either. I am a flight attendant, and I will send you to wherever you would like to go. It just won't be here. Thank you, and have a good day. Continue with the live. Thank you for flying. Laugh and live. Okay, let's go.
She's so good. I love it.
Y'all can
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
that's a
cool.
good moderator.
That was brilliant. What was
But
I saying? Oh
oh,
yeah,
but yeah,
Slavery.
the history of that the colonization and chattel slavery, bro. Like it was almost entirely orchestrated by private companies that came from Europe. Like they stole people's cattle and burned their crops, and then forced them to fight each other, and then gave them an ultimatum: starve or sell us your enemies.
No. Yeah.
Like,
So I feel you on that, but we ain't talking about slavery right now. But how
yeah,
you
no,
feel
my
about the topic
apologies.
though?
I got distracted by a statement that they were saying.
You got to,
Uh,
you automatically
yeah,
think about that. Like, what about that? It's like that.
Yeah, so like I consider myself Danish because I'm almost 80% Danish. And I
Yeah.
don't identify with the Irish or the English parts of me at all. So I like our race, nationality, or ethnicity, like how would we determine that? Well, like how do you think we would determine that, you know? Like do we get to pick and choose, or do we pick the most dominant set of genetics within our family line? And if we do, then why do we do that? Is it just because we have the social
Culture.
norms? Yeah, and the culture, yeah, and
It's
our
more of the culture
uniquely
thing.
American culture that wants to separate us by those things, you know? So
I like
Like,
Coretta. She is preaching down there.
Yeah, he ain't
But
lying.
yeah,
I feel
that's
like,
what it is. They just want to
yeah, I'm
fit in.
about to
It's
say,
called
I
a
feel like
fitting
it's
in type
societal.
situation. You said what?
I was about to say, I feel like it's society choose like Coretta A. Stevens said, because it's like let's just say again hypothetically, like, you got somebody that's got black and white ancestry, but like whatever they color palette comes out to be, if they're more towards, I guess, the black side, then you'll think they're more black than they is white, or vice versa.
Right.
If they're a little bit lighter, you'll think they more white than they is black, and
yeah,
Right.
but
genes
at the
don't really
same
even work that
time,
way.
if you even have a drop of melanated skin in certain parts of our country, like they wouldn't consider you white at all. You know what
Yeah,
I
I did
mean?
hear about that. I heard about that, which is weird. Why is it that way? You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Oh,
it's prejudice.
why? And then I don't get like why can't be a drop to if I have a drop of Mexican in me or so. I don't talk not whatever. I think that's a
Right?
nationality, but like a drop of whatever else. Why I can't be that? You know what I'm saying? It's just weird. But yeah, I guess that if they say that's why I asked that other question. Do you believe it's a dominant gene? You know what I'm saying? Which it might be, it might not. You know, I don't know how that works though. But
Using the word dominant could be very divisive, because if you're getting scientific and you're analyzing DNA, dominant just means you actually understand how the X and Y and shit works. But then
hmm
people have now turned it into like this social football where they're saying like, well, we're dominating you. And
oh, I get what you mean and how they
there's
take
like
it.
a
Yeah,
confusion of the words, but you literally, when you're talking about DNA, dominant's like a scientific word,
yeah, I feel you.
you
Yeah,
Yeah,
know,
dominant
but
means more outwardly presenting.
it gets thrown
True.
away around in a different way.
yeah.
And
So
I
I
Like
mean,
wonder.
also,
would your skin tone even be considered a dominant gene?
I
That's
don't think
another
it's skin
question.
tone. I think it's more of a DNA type situation.
Yeah,
I think a lot of
absolutely.
people judges off the skin tone. That's a why. Because you know why
Yeah,
this even come up with, why I came up with the topic. Because some people be just trying to tell somebody how black they is or not or whatever. I don't care. Your skin tone don't look like that. You're not black or something like that. Especially that something like that or whatever. So it just be weird. I actually got in a
yeah.
debate about that. What's the deal, OC?
true.
And my
Yes.
thought is like race is like, I mean, Caucasian, for example, like we
Yeah.
use that as a race designation. And
Yeah.
the caucus, like Caucasian people are from a very specific region in Europe.
Yeah.
And that's ignoring the ethnotype and the phenotype of like 1,600 different sets of people with unique genetics and culture. And
Yeah.
so, like, I don't think that blood makes your race at all. I think your race is based on your outward appearance towards the government.
Yeah, that's what that is. Still hours. That's where it came from. It's called it was your structure or the way the way your face structure look and like the ears and the nose and all that stuff. That's
Hmm.
where race came from. And that was
Yeah,
like something that wasn't even back in the days that was used. It was just something to be able to identify each of us. I think it was what it came from America. I think from from what I
it came
heard.
from some dude who studied skulls.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh wait, like Lucy and stuff, right?
No, no, no. He studied human skulls to determine who was the most genetically superior. And of course,
Yeah.
it made no sense and was pseudoscience based on like massive amounts of prejudice and frankly misplaced faith.
Hmm.
Huh.
So for the last one, then, do skin, genetics, or environment makes a character?
I would say it's mostly environment, which like that's a nature versus nurture thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're looking at an individual's specific character, it's definitely going to be the people that they're raised by or the people that they're like closest in contact to. But
Mm-hmm.
you also have to like unfortunately because of certain skin tones, our environment is going to affect us differently because of the environment we live in.
Yes, and
So
you still
so
said environment.
yeah, yeah,
I get what
exactly.
you
But
mean.
it all goes
I get
back
what you
to
talking about.
environment.
The interaction with the environment. I get what you're saying on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like yeah, I
It,
mean it's definitely going to be the environment 100% of the time that makes your character. And also your nature. Like each individual is individual, and they're gonna experience their own nature. Like for example, like the kid who hurts birds for fun when he lives a
Mm.
very posh and comfortable life, you know, like his nature overrode his nurture in that instance. You know what I mean?
So how you feel racing Nate? Well, I'm gonna go for rest next. Then I'm do it backwards next. Rest then Nate.
Oh, I probably agree with Chimney as far as like it's the nature versus nurture. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
nurture might play uh a bit more of a role than just nature, but I feel like even with those genes, like take for instance like an alcoholic, right? Like if
Yeah.
you're an alcoholic and then you have a baby, those genes are predisposed in that baby to be able to brunt, or I guess you could say tank, for lack of a better word, more alcohol than the other person, right? So like uh the baby of an alcoholic, their genes would be able to absorb more alcohol because the person before them or the parent is able to induce or take more alcohol than the next normal person. So,
Mm.
but I feel like nature does play a little bit more of a role than nurture, but I would definitely say environment makes the character a little bit more
Yeah.
than just the nature as well.
Yeah. I do feel like it's more nurture than, but yeah. And okay, I want to ask with that one though because I had a debate about that situation too. That's the reason why I threw genetics up there too though because I know a lot of people say that it's in my gene and all that stuff. I think genes work different. I don't think genes, me myself, I don't think genes make your character or something like that. Because I know people be like, oh, my mother was like this, I'm like this or something like that. I feel it's more of what the baby seen or what it was, aka the environment they was in. Because I believe that me myself, I think that even if I was okay, let's go back to the drunk thing. Y'all was talking about how to father the drunk, right? Even if my
Mm.
father was a drunk, right? But then I lived in uh Italy or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm gonna become a drunk because he was a drunk or something like that. I just think that the environment that I was in or the area I was in, I'm gonna be a whole different type of character from my father. You know what I'm saying? That's just what
Yeah,
I believe.
Absolutely.
I probably would say it's like your father was a drunk, and then it's the environment that you were placed in.
Hmm.
But also like just like let's just say you start going to a bar, you start going with friends and things like that. I feel like a person that comes maybe from a alcoholic family, they might be more predisposed to be addicted to it rather than a person that didn't come from an alcoholic family and they doing the same thing. But
Okay, I think okay,
yeah,
I get you a
yeah,
little
like
bit.
There
but
has
the
been a lot of
environment
studies that
definitely helps.
show there's been a lot of studies that show that addiction is a genetic thing. Like your
I can get that.
predisposition to addiction is definitely a genetic thing.
That makes sense.
And
Yeah, that make
yeah,
more
so
sense. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
malformations, yeah, I would say are genetic. Like and a propensity for addiction is definitely a malformation in the brain.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah,
if
cause
you
that.
go,
Yeah.
then if you go and set it off on top of that, like those two things are really in trouble.
Okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense
definitely.
though.
Like
I
you
can
know,
get that.
without like getting too personal, because we want to kind of get to the facts of the things. But my father was an alcoholic and things like that too. So like, I see myself more predisposed to when I was, you know, drinking alcohol and things like that with my friends, that I kind of would like it more, and I would want to do it more often. So I kind of
Hmm.
seen that, but then I also seen the environment that I was placed in versus actually being genetically predisposed to it. So I feel like people can actually beat those old things like genes that may cause more anger or alcoholism or whatever.
Hmm.
They could beat those things if they have a conducive environment that
Exactly.
allows them to beat those things. So I'll probably say in a percentage, I'll probably say it's more so 75% nature versus 25%. Oh my bad, I got those wrong.
Other way
75%
around.
nurture versus 25% nature.
Exactly. I feel you on
Yep.
that. I feel it too.
There's good
Uh,
genetics too. You could be predisposed to be from an athletic family one way or another. You could have
mm.
people in your family that are great mid-distance runners, and they're smart enough to have you train at that, and the two things work together. Like the nature nurture thing working together doesn't have to be bad; it could be good also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
turn those generational curses into generational benefits.
There's like both,
Oh,
at
you're
all
right.
times.
Oh, y'all preaching
There's
up
always
here. I
both.
like it.
Yeah, but like, why look at the bad at things? Like, I know, like people way into working out, they say, "Well, it's bad genetics in my family that we get this heart condition." But like, maybe everyone in your family knows how to like blow up their calves and forearms like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, there's good and
Hmm.
bad things to everything that you gotta look at.
Yeah. I think even with that, I think people can like, uh, even if say if you was they was somebody was born with a bad condition or something like that. I know they be saying it's in the genes and stuff. I be feel like it. Of course, it probably started from somewhere, but I think if a person start living a healthy life or whatever, they could probably change it and make it lighter for the next person that comes up. That'd be
Yeah,
that way it'd be less into their genes or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you can definitely correct those problems over time.
Yeah.
It's like
Hmm.
the bright side of eugenics. Eugenics is such a bad word for good reason, but it could be good also.
Hmm.
Well, like if that wouldn't that's not eugenics though. That's just gene manipulation. Eugenics is for a specific desired racial result.
Is
That
that by
is that is
definition what eugenics is?
that is yeah, that is by definition eugenics is
Uh,
that. So that wouldn't be eugenics. That's just gene manipulation.
well, there you go.
Mm.
yeah. I probably say another thing too, as far as like the whole conversation is how different ethnicities are groups of race, things like that. You know how sometimes they go through the lineage of the father versus the lineage of the mother as well.
Hmm.
Like sometimes they determine like ethnicity off of that as well.
Mm.
Yeah, that's patriarchal structure. You guys want to know a fun fact about father's genes? You only get about 8% of them. So we should be tracking things matrilineal if we're going for like genetic history of our family because we only get 8% of our genetics from our father. And it's literally to make you look kind of like him so he doesn't want to like primevally get rid of you.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I can see if you in a mother's womb for 9 months and she's directly feeding you, giving you blood, things like that, providing cells for you, that you would have more of your genetics or DNA structure from her, rather than your father who just kind of just made the seed and you became the seed out of his loins. So I can see that.
Yeah,
Mm.
literally the only thing that the male provides is the Kickstarter for everything else.
Mm.
Yeah, and then also with that environment thing, like bulk of your genetics, I believe, that I seen in an article, is made from your environment as well, like the bacteria and other organisms that's in the environment, and that
What's the deal,
changes
studio?
mutate the structure of your DNA. So,
Hmm.
That's more what after you're born. After you're born, your gut microbiome and your intestinal microbiome do have a large play on your genetics. Like over time, your body will adjust its instructions to those areas to better suit those specific gut biomes, and that is true.
Hmm.
By the way, like my associates is in biochemistry, my master's is in aeronautical engineering, and my bachelor's is in philosophy.
nice.
Mm.
I'm about to say we haven't heard from Queen. How you doing, Miss Queen?
Queen in the building.
Hello.
How you feeling, man?
Hello.
How you feel about the topic?
Hi. What about the topic? What percentage of your? I feel like it's necessary. I think a percentage does take a place. I think race is not important to me. I think it's your ethnicity and your nationality, and I feel like those were created to, because we all don't stay in one place, right? You have people that travel all across the world, like people from Canada move to Switzerland and vice versa, right? Those things were created to identify where we came from originally, right? Race is new or whatever. And then within that country you came from, to identify what part of that country, what tribe, whatever you consider you originated from. Like, I feel like those things do need to exist. But why those things were in place. To say I came from here, my lifestyle, my experience is from this place. Because obviously, if you've never been there, you don't know what those people would look like, right? So, and then yes, the intermingling would happen. So you would be from this place plus this place and so forth and so on. Like, that's just my take on it.
What, Queen Mike? Do you mind if I ask a question, host?
What
What's
question?
that?
My question is when after, say, we have our genetic melting pot, do we determine whether or not the ethnicity or the culture is more important?
That's up to the individual. Once again,
Okay.
you should appreciate all of your mixing pot, like, but that's something your parent has to teach you and inform you about. That's not your problem, right? That's your parents' problem.
No,
But
and I understand that. I'm not trying to seem hostile or argumentative. It's a genuine question that I have been asking myself for a long time.
no,
Like,
I'm
when do
not.
we determine whether culture or ethnicity becomes more important?
I feel like both of them are important. I'm not saying you're trying to do it
Mm-hmm.
to antagonize. I'm just saying I feel like, to me, it's all important, right? Because they all play a part of who you are. So you should be informed about all of it. If you're mixing
Okay,
5
Absolutely.
so
different
I'm
things, you should
glad
be
you
informed
said
about
that
the
then.
5 different things.
So you said play a part in who? I guess you talking about more of a. I guess it do in a way. So I guess it do though. I guess
I
it say
say
like a
do
small
because
percentage, maybe a small percentage or something like that, maybe.
not necessarily true, because, right, for
Because I think,
instance, my uncle doesn't look nothing like my mother, right? So
oh, you talking about
that play,
physical?
they don't look nothing alike
Okay.
physically.
Oh, that's
But
what you talking about. Okay.
that also plays a role in genetics, right? Because if you want to break it down, technically my mom doesn't have the same father, right? But even though they're all black, right? We
Right.
all look different. So with that
Yeah.
being said, like, that should be able to be told to break it down and explain why you look different, right? Because some people have long hair, and then other one don't, and why she get to have the long hair, and it causes so many turmoils and arguments within our own communities because we don't know.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's good to know who you are. Like, even if you don't follow that culture, their culture to a T, like, it's good to know that this is where you came from. You know, you got a part of that.
Yeah. So what will be the purpose though? Because if you can build a new legacy, then why focus on the past?
It's not focusing on the past. It's being
Yeah,
connected
because
to
I
who
be
you are.
yeah. But I think I just never want to tie myself to or my character or anything to my ancestors or so. I just never been there because I wanted to start. I'm gonna be an ancestor one day. You know what I'm saying? So I want to just start me a new mission and stuff. Because like if we really want to get really deep, it could always go back to the first human. I don't know if we go, even if I was to go biblical or something like that. Whatever the first human that created us, you know what I'm saying? It could always start there. And that'd be just and that probably tied to dang near everybody because we probably all related in some way. So I don't know.
It's
That's
I
neat
true,
Some
mean,
though.
but
originated it.
It's cool
Definitely.
that's
that you can find out.
true.
according to
But
the
we always,
genetic,
as children, ask our parents why.
Yeah.
We At some point, we've all got something about us being pointed out. Why you look like this? Why your hair is like that? Your nose like that? Your eyes shaped like that? Your
Yeah.
ears? Whatever the case may be. Like, and you go to your parents and wanting to know why. Like, it will easier to be comfortable to make sense. Like, oh, okay, that's why I look different. Like, that's why I made fun of my
Yeah.
ears, because this
Like
type
clear.
of tribe had these type of ears, and because we all, like you said, we all, our features varies from whatever reason. Like, so it's good to make someone feel comfortable within themselves to know
It,
why they look a certain way. It's not
it,
about doing the culture itself. It's just, a personal
It's a
connection.
clarity type thing or whatever.
Yeah. You
And
don't want
then
to know who you
even
from?
with that, what's the clarity for? Like, is it for somebody else or for yourself or just to fit in? It got to be some type of root to that situation
Mostly for
too, though.
yourself to know who you are.
Yeah,
You want to
just
work on this
one
earth and
less
not
thing
know
to
nothing
think about.
about you?
Huh?
You want to work on this earth and know nothing about you. So let's say none of
I
these
think I
things
know a lot about
exist.
me because I can only control. I would say my character is what I make right now, so I really don't have to dig back to what made me. You know what I'm saying? I'm more based on my purpose on life or whatever, or something like that. Because I can get sometimes, a lot of history is good to learn different things to get better from or whatever. Because we could say that like, oh dang, I found out far back that my great great Papa Paul was like a superstar or something like that or whatever, and it's like that's cool, that's amazing and all that, whatever. He was the fastest runner or something like that, but then again, it's serving no purpose in my life right now. I mean, it's cool to
That's
understand,
not based off
and
of
it
your
show.
topic. We're talking about identity, not characteristics. Your characteristics is going to be your
It do
characteristics.
say characteristic. That's the whole point. That's my last part. That's why I was
Yeah,
at. That's my
but
whole point. Is
your
a characteristic.
identity, your identity is always going to be your identity, though. No matter
Yeah.
what your characteristic is, your look is always going to be your look. Your identity,
Yeah.
your DNA is always going to be your identity, no matter what
Yeah, identity
characteristic.
changes. You could choose
Right.
you
A
really
lot of
can
people
choose
want
an
to know
Yeah,
their
identity. How
identity.
you identify yourself. How
Yeah, a
you
lot of
gonna
people want to
identify.
know that. That's a
yeah. I was about
normal
to
Yeah,
thing
but
say.
to
you
know who
make
they
your
are.
identity now though.
I
Your
look.
past don't make your
No, you
identity.
can
You
you
just
can
talking
create
about
a new
features.
identity. You can create a new identity. You can't change your identity. That's a
Wait,
big
your
difference.
genetic features aren't your identity though.
Identity is how
It,
you identify yourself.
Yeah, I look at
Yeah,
history as like a movie, and it's cool to be that a character. As insignificant as it is to like real history, to major shit. Like I have the ability to think of everything in this timeline where I've been entertained by it, and now I get to apply myself to it just by knowing where I came from. If it's good
yeah,
for that, just that's my personal reason. I like including myself.
Mm. So okay, I got a question then with the because I know. So how far back how far back you have to look back to get your clarification that you're looking for?
Whatever
why
you
do you
can
have to go
find
far
out.
back?
Yeah,
Just
Well,
I'm just
real
because
saying
you
quick,
because
you
I know
guys,
saw
you
it.
real
said
quick.
you
I
wanna you
have.
wanna know. Huh?
Oh, sorry. I was saying I have another perspective on this. Like, so I did a lot of genealogical research on my own family, and I found a bunch of horrible shit that I didn't want to know about them. Like, and now I'm like, man, now I'm not proud of being related to these people. Like, I didn't want to know that. Like, so, like, that's not at all a part of my identity or who I am. The only
Yeah.
thing it serves a purpose for me is health. Like, knowing my genetics allows me to know different health factors about myself. That's all. That's all it is to me
Yeah, I
because I
get
hold
that.
no connection to my ancestors. Like, they're completely opposite from me.
Yeah.
exactly. I probably would
Now,
say I've only looked about maybe 3 or 4 generations back, uh, because I actually have a sickle cell trait. So
Hmm.
with mating with my wife and things like that, or maybe having a child with my wife, I ain't necessarily want to have a sickle cell trait because trait plus trait that could equal the sickle cell anemia. But I
Hmm.
only look only so far back for health things like Mr. Chimney said, just to make sure I'm good on that. But as far as identity, that never really necessarily crossed my mind, like to be like, oh yeah, I want to know if I'm from like Nigeria or you know if I'm Senegalese or something like that. I never thought about things like that. I just thought about it for my health.
Okay, I got you. And then even with that, like you look that up just for what? Just to be like, okay, cool, that's sweet, and then be like, but there's nothing you can do about it, even if you figure it out. Like, dang, like, dang, this where this
Yeah,
came from, and ain't nothing I
Right?
can do about it. But it's really a clarification thing from what I'm hearing. It's like just want clarity. But I really want to ask Queen, like, when is the limit? Like, how far do we want to keep looking back till we start living our regular life?
You can still live your regular life and know. Like, what makes you think just because I want to know who I am, I'm not going to live my regular? That doesn't
Well, I
change
mean,
who I
how
am.
much information, like, how much do you have to know till you feel satisfied? Like, because you could, like, literally all of us can keep on, and that would take a super long time, till we dang near get to the
That's
beginning of the days
subjective.
and stuff.
I was going to say that
Right.
too, but it
That's
is
what I said. So
subjective.
how?
That's like
That's what I
saying
said.
how much you want to
That's
learn
my.
until
That's
you
my.
feel like you learned enough. That's subjective, right?
Exactly. I'm trying to see where your limit. That's the whole point. That's yeah. So subjective ain't
It's
got nothing to do with my question.
My
I'm just
question
asking you.
is as far back as anyone wants to go.
Uh, uh,
I'm about to say, I think AJ made a good point. I think they say history is important, no matter how ugly it could be. To remind us to not repeat history. I think in Mr. Chimney's case, maybe that'd be a good point. You know, like maybe not to repeat the history of his ancestors or maybe what they did or whatever. Like I said, I don't know anybody personally, but like I think that's a good reason maybe to look back as well. So history don't repeat itself. If they did something bad or anything like that, you might inspire to be a better person, have a better identity.
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I feel that too. Like
Hmm.
I really didn't want to be related to them. Like when I found out that they were mercenaries for the most part, I was like, "Oh, cool! What kind of mercenaries?" And then I found out that they worked for the East India Trading Company. I was like, "Damn it!"
Oh man. What about this? Do you think that when people dig back into their history so bad or focus on their history so bad, do you think it help them more or do it harm them more? Their mentality wise.
That's
Personally,
subjective to the person. Some people want to know so they can do better. Some people don't felt like Mr. Chimney said he didn't want to know because it made him feel some type of way. Like that's
Yeah.
subjective. Like and at the
That's
end of the
no,
day
but
you can't
listen to my
change
question.
your
Listen to what I'm
feelings.
saying though. I'm not. I know. I just literally. That's what I was saying. I was saying basically in a general thing. Do you feel like it's hurting people more, or is it helping people more?
It's subjective because for some people it might.
How do you feel? I know it's subjective. How do you feel?
What do you mean how I feel?
Anybody want to answer this? Do you feel like
I
digging
mean, I probably feel like it's helpful because
is help
even
more
even if
people?
it's if it's negative or positive, again, like in Mr. Chimney's case, that pushed him and motivated him to not be like his ancestors, right? Or like maybe you might find somebody great. Let's just say I do an ancestry, right, and then I find out that it's a civil rights member or something like that. That's gonna be like, dang man, I had a civil rights activist in my lineage. Maybe I should do more civil rights things, or maybe I should fight more for people of color's rights, things like that, right?
Hmm.
So I
So
feel
you
like it's
believe a lot
helpful
of
either
people is
way.
like that? You believe a lot of
I
people get more motivated or influenced, or do they get more influenced by their situation?
I probably feel like people get more influenced by either situation, or if it was just a normal person, you could say, oh yeah,
Yeah.
they was just a normal person. Maybe I want to aspire to bring greatness to my lineage or things like that. So even the people before, I don't know if you guys believe in the afterlife and things like that, but like some people believe in ancestors and stuff like that. Maybe your ancestors will shine on you, or like you're doing great things if you do great things like that. So I feel like even if it's negative or positive information, the person can learn that and they can make their path from either choice. So I feel like it's more beneficial than it would be harmful to learn the information.
What about the people that's learning or getting taught racism?
that's exactly what I was about to bring up. Like
So at the
a
end of the day,
majority of white. Oh, sorry.
oh, sorry. At the end of the day, that is always going. At the end of the day, that's going to be taught. There's nothing that any, and I hate to be this person, but there's nothing any of us are going to do in our lifetime to keep people from not being prejudiced in that way. That is
Yeah.
always going
Yeah,
to
there
continue to
really isn't,
happen.
unless there was
However,
like massive
yes, but
amounts of horrible things.
you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the thing is like I said, yes, there's going to be difficult things and terrible things that we may learn from the history as we go backwards. But at the end of the day, there's never a bad thing to figure out where you come from, right? It's what you do with that information. You can either follow suit with the
Exactly.
bad thing, or you can learn from the bad things,
That's
right?
true.
Okay.
That
But
answers
at
So
the
the
so I'm
same
question
gonna
I was going to
re-ask
time,
this
ask
you
question
AJ.
may
for each.
find things, however, hold on, you may find things within that lineage, within that background, within these people, right, that may make sense and may apply to your own life, right? So, for example, when I did it for myself, the history of my people on the island that I'm from traces back 3,000 years, right? That doesn't mean that they didn't do, there wasn't terrible things that did happen. There were terrible things that happened, terrible things that my family had done, but there was also a lot of relief as well because there was a lot of things that I do or the way I see things
Hmm.
that just started to make sense. I'm not
So
saying that those were bad things, it just made sense. You see what
Man,
I'm saying? It was a way
I
of
wish
me
I had
learning
that
and being more
experience.
aware of myself.
yeah.
That's it.
So here we go. I'm gonna do it a different way because I see what's going. So all right, let me put it this way. Do you feel like majority of people take in information the same way you take it in? As in this whole panel right now, you feel like everybody take it in more in a it sounds like you take it in a more in a motivating way or learn from type way, or do they take it or do they get if let me see. I want to say
Okay,
influenced,
so
maybe
Well,
influence or
well,
something like.
the six of
I'll
us
answer
here are
that.
very apathetic people to even be here. So you have to assume most of the people out there don't think like us. Like
That's what I'm trying to get to.
we apparently care more than other people just to be staying up at night and talk about this shit. And you know there is another people like that. So that kind of answers that question.
Because I think it's way
That,
more
mm,
followers than leaders. I'm gonna put it that way, but I'm gonna
There are
see
way
what
more
everybody got to say.
followers than leaders.
That's
but
what
at
I'm
the
getting
end,
to about
but
that.
it, so that's the thing. Yes, there's always going to be followers. There are always going to be leaders. I cannot control that, right? All I can do is again either plant the seed or be the leader and be like, okay, cool. Look, I went through something similar. This is how I did it. Right? But if none of us sit here and stand up and say, hey, yes, I went through this history, this is how I took it, this is what I did, but all the people who took the most negative things out of it are standing up and talking,
That's very
really,
true.
what can we do?
We
We're not
You,
we
doing
as
I mean,
anything.
I,
individuals have to continue talking.
I'm trying to see if you get what
That's
I'm
it.
meaning, though. I'm not. I get what you're saying. The stuff you're saying, it's like I understand what you. I'm just saying, like I'm just speaking in like a general thing, though. Like how you feel like a
Oh,
lot of
no.
people in this world take stuff. You know what I'm saying? Which
At
Almost
the end of the
almost
day, at the end of the day,
almost
when it
I
comes
think
to,
it's
oh, sorry.
sorry, AJ.
No,
Real
you're
quick.
good.
I think if I read the statistic correctly, some
Oh wait,
85%.
hold on.
Dang it, dude.
Okay.
About
Mhm.
85% of white supremacy organizations rely on ancestral familiarity to justify their hatred. So like they'll be like, "Look, you have ancestors from here. You're a Viking." And they'll use that false sense because they're
mm,
loud, as AJ was saying. They're the ones standing up and talking, and they're gaining followers by using the false sense of ancestry.
mm,
At the end of the day, they're utilizing a tool, right? And the thing
Exactly.
is like I was trying to say, that's going to be, as far as that information or what other people are going to do with it, whether that is the masses, the general public, or whatever
mm,
else, they are going to do whatever they are going to do,
right.
right? I cannot control that. I have no way of controlling that. The
Exactly.
only thing that I can do, right, is try to influence those that are around me. So the people flying into this live that may be getting snippets and being like, hey, what exactly are they talking about? right? And they may be going through these things, right? And they may be feeling maybe that part of that justification because that's what they're being told. Now we're giving them a different option. You don't
Okay.
have to be that. But it doesn't help if everybody just sits there and continues to say, oh, well, we shouldn't go back there because of this and because of white supremacy and racism and everything else. Don't go back there because then people, you know what I mean? It's just going to make you ignorant at the
I'm about
same
to put up a
time.
poll so I can get everybody on the same page of what I'm talking about. Hold up.
Something?
And AJ, I agree with you entirely. I was just providing my anecdote based
No,
on,
I agree. You're okay.
yeah, like I would
Yeah,
understand why people wouldn't look into their ancestry, is what I was saying.
exactly. And I agree. I agree exactly with the reason why
No,
people wouldn't want
I'm
to.
about
But
to exactly
I'm
put down what I'm
saying
about to what I mean.
that's perfectly fine. But what I'm saying is that for me, right, a lot of the time, if I look at a lot of my personal experiences with dealing with life, if I would have known then that I had other choices, I would have definitely taken them then. But I did not take them because I did not know. I know
Facts.
now, I did not then. Think about that. But anyway, that's not why I came up here. I came up here while Kev is typing that in the poll,
Why
if
can't
y'all
do a
can.
poll?
Again, still keep tapping the screen. Tap, tap, tap. Share the live. Please be respectful. If you are new here, welcome in. This is kind of what we do. We have a lot of different types of topics in here. Please follow the people in here. Everybody in here is mad respectful, mad awesome, so on and so forth. If you want to contribute to it, feel free to do so in the comments, come up in the box, so on and so forth. But again, please stay respectful. If you cannot do that, a moderator or me, myself, whatever, will gladly send you to exit left. We will fly you out of the live. It's not a big deal. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. It's that simple. So please just make sure you tap the screen. Please stay respectful. Enjoy the live. Let's continue.
And try to, if y'all can, share to like at least 5
I'm
people.
gonna
5.
hop down, you guys.
Please
Thank you
share it
for
5
giving
people.
me a space to talk.
All right, for sure.
No worries.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
It's
No worries,
definitely
no worries.
bedtime.
Appreciate you, man. I gotta do it through this page. Then I'm gonna do the poll though. If I can figure out how to.
I'm going to drop back to the comments. I may periodically just come up. Just make sure y'all just keep tapping, okay? Thank you.
Oh yeah.
I just hate tapping up here. It's just
All
loud
right.
as a motherfucker.
What's the deal, Della? Welcome to the live. Let's see something real quick. So I can do it through this page, the poll. Somehow I don't got the interaction button on here. That's weird. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, you got. Oh, dang. Let me not change that one. That's the one you made. Uh, Give me 1 second, y'all.
They're pretty close to having designer babies where they alter the DNA in the egg and people come out quote unquote perfect. Have you seen all that?
Say that one more time.
They're working on making designer babies where they recognize all the things that could be wrong in your genetics and make it where you're born perfect. You don't get any of those predisposed diseases and everything else that could be bad about your DNA. I think that's pretty crazy.
I think that's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah, I looked up. Somebody got blocked. Oh my.
Sounds like one more way for rich people to get ahead on everyone.
It's not only for rich people. As long as you got the money. It's
Well, that's rich people if you got some money.
You don't have to be rich in order to get that done. They have payment plans. They have mad things. Some
Yeah.
insurances cover it. Like
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah,
only
I
the
mean,
rich people.
I can see what Nate's saying though, as far as like the abundance of having the money though is easier for wealthier people to get those services rather than middle class or lower class people.
Yeah. Or maybe like minor things will be done for cheaper that could really affect you, but they have like the perfect jawline or some bullshit that'll be like for the more rich. Like it's like getting plastic surgery before you're born,
I'm
basically.
I'm for
I
it.
mean, yeah, you can even see
There you go.
that now as far as major things like as far as organ transplants and things like that. I mean, wealthier people get higher in the list as much as you can pay for whatever services that you can get.
I'm for it. Sign me
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I'm not against it, but I just see where it's like a connection to the way our healthcare is already. It's just more of the same. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like now you get put on a waiting list for a organ transplant. It's the same thing. You get put on a waiting list to
All right.
have your embryo altered.
Mm-hmm. Y'all seen the poll? I don't know if it popped up on there.
I voted. I saw the
Oh,
poll.
what was the poll?
Should have. I don't know how to pull it back up if it worked like that. I think you gotta go to. Let's see if you can. Maybe if you leave the room and come back. I don't know how that works. I
No,
think it's some
no,
way
no,
to
no,
pull
no,
the
no.
poll back up.
If you are in the box, if you tap on where it says multiple, it's gonna say it's gonna pop up. It's gonna say like live poll underneath. Like if you was trying to join into the box, it's gonna have the first box and then the bottom's gonna say live poll.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Well, I'm glad I voted right away. Now I don't have to look for all that.
Mm-hmm.
I see it, but it just say modify live status or disconnect, so I can't really see it. I don't know
If you
if
tap
it's
tap on it, if you tap on the modify live poll, it should pop up.
modify, and then it say connect using auto only. I don't know if but what was the poll though if you remember?
The poll is basically worldwide is um history. Do it hurt people more or do it help people more? That's
Mm,
all worldwide.
I'm about to say I ain't gonna lie, that's a good question. I don't know. I feel like it's multiple different situations where history can hurt or help people. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
only because like let's just say have you heard of the Florida bills that's going on right now
Yep.
that DeSantis posting or that
Yep.
DeSantis passing or
Which one?
I guess mostly since this live is towards race slash ethnicity,
I'm
probably
jumping in
towards
all day.
those bills. I mean, if we get into the LGBT bills, that'll be a whole different story as well. But I probably say just like the race bills, as far as like him throwing out critical race theory. I guess for African Americans, and then
Right.
accepting like uh Asian American history, I guess you could say, being mandatory in the Florida schools. So I guess we'll be talking about those.
You know that critical race theory was originally a college class, and for it to even be considered part of high school teaching, it would only be the advanced students, which to me makes me think they could do whatever they want. Because if you're already like a gifted honors student and you're to that level, you've already mastered all of history. But that's what CRT is. It's a college level class for law school. And this whole idea of we were going to introduce CRT and like 10-year-olds are going to know it is just so stupid. It's something that was always at an advanced level that they were trying to get in.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I feel like it does take a little bit more maturity and basically maturity. Not that they always coincide, but maturity pretty much is kind of with age and experience. So I feel like older kids probably should be uh maybe critical race theory should be taught maybe to older kids rather than younger kids because they don't even see things like that. So it's like, trying to teach them stuff like that is kind of, it might be more harmful than helpful because they might get confused. Rather as older kids, they kind of see that stuff a little bit. They can kind of start catching on. So I
Well,
think maybe in the later,
by design, it was a college prep course. Like it's part of college prep if you're now teaching it in high school. So the whole idea of like the Republicans getting mad at it, they don't even know what they're getting mad at. It's like teaching like quantum mechanics and shit like that only the advanced students would be a part of. It never had anything to do with throwing it into like a basic elementary school, but that's how they made it look.
exactly. So yeah, I think, yeah, I think maybe teaching it to the older kids would probably be more helpful than harmful. But as far as history, I mean, I feel like probably in the later years, yeah, people should know the history of things, to not repeat it. So I think it would be more helpful than harmful.
Yeah.
But it could also be harmful in situations. But I think the percentage of those situations, I feel like it would be more helpful than harmful.
It's kind of up to the teacher, anyways, to interpret it. The teacher's going to take a textbook and put their own version out there. I mean, there's a base of where they start, but beyond that, a teacher kind of gives the kid the option, or the teacher kind of thinks for the kid in the way they say it. You know what I mean? And the way they do the assignments and stuff. So I don't see where you just write a book and brainwash the population. There's like people involved.
Yeah, and that's
That's
just
what I be meaning about.
facts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the brainwashing be serious for real.
yeah, that's just facts, man. They, most of the time, people operate more so off emotions, subjective feelings, rather than
Yeah.
objective. Like so I feel like subjective things hit home more than.
So what the heck just happened? Oh,
I don't know if Queen dropped off or
okay,
maybe.
drop. So I got another question then because I had this little tiny debate with because I be hearing people say that I only act like this because my mama act like this or something like that. It's in my genes that I'm a good worker. They say it's in my genes that um it's stuff like that. It's in my genes. I'm a good football player. We play basketball. We always good at basketball. Or no, I can't say that one. No, but stuff like that. I'm a good worker, or it's in my genes that I got anger issues, or stuff like that. Um, do you think stuff like that is come from teachings, or does it come from your blood?
So I think back to what we were saying, nature versus nurture. So like
Hmm.
let's just say what you said, the sports player, right?
Yeah.
Basketball, football, maybe. So in their genes, let's just say for most African Americans or most African people of African descent, their calves they're higher, right? So it's for more speed, more power,
Okay.
to get speed. So more, I guess, athletic African American players, they're good at track, sprinting, long jumping, things like that that
Hmm.
require speed and through speed. So like you can, I guess you could say nurture but like at the same time, I meant my bad. You can say nature, but at the same time, I feel like things could be nurtured as well. Like like that same type of energy that could be towards your speed and things like that. You could work on your weak side as well.
Hmm.
Maybe power and endurance, because if you got high calves, you might have twitch fibers that's more towards speed, but maybe you could work on your endurance as well, so you could be more balanced. So I feel like when people say that, I mean they kind of got a point, but at the same time, you could still work on things that you might not be as strong in.
Hmm. So, so I got another one then. So say if your father was strong, do that mean that you gonna end up strong?
It'll be easier. Like you still
Be
got to work
easier.
it. You still got to work at it, but there's something
Okay.
there, you know.
Would that mean that everybody before them? Because I got so deep that I'm like, so if that's how genetics work, right? I mean, everybody before them or the first person was like the strongest person or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that means that on not only your father got it from his other father, which got it from the other. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it only goes so far back. I mean, it goes so to the beginning of time. So that means they started off as muscle heads or something like that.
Well, I think it'd be the opposite. I think over time you're part of developing it. So if you go back like 5 or 6 grandfathers, that one probably wouldn't be as strong,
Strong is okay. I get you. So
but
you
he'd be
get.
the one that decided to get it started, and it just so happened over generations, which
Hmm.
has a lot to do with like the job you were forced to do. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Stuff like that goes hand in hand with how that got like developed.
Hmm. Oh, I be hearing people, especially like the anger. Somebody like, I got anger issues because my father got anger issues, or my mother has anger issues. They be like, yeah, that's why I got anger issues too.
Yeah.
Uh, do you think that it worked like that too?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that
I
mean
could
that,
see somebody being more predisposed to have genes that produce more cortisol, which is the stress hormone.
mm,
And you know, stress hormones and things like that that could make you more irritable and things like that. I could see that, but at the same time, through nurture, you could develop methods and tactics uh, to you know make you less susceptible to
less,
acting
I
on your
get you.
anger and things like that. So I
Exactly.
mean, yeah, and then especially with the strength and grandfather for strength or things like that. I mean, you might have a gene that's predisposed to building more muscle, things like that. You
Right.
might have a gene that's more fast twitch or slow twitch, things like that. But it's like hard work beats talent. So like if you're not working
Yeah.
as hard as the guy that's in the gym 6 hours, or not
Right.
6 hours, but 6 days a week and things like that, he probably gonna have more muscle than you, even though genetically you're probably predisposed to build muscle easier than him. So I feel like
Right.
nurture environment still plays more of a factor than just genes and things like that. Because genes,
Exactly.
it might make it easier or harder for you, but it's just the work and the decisions you make that you know get you to whatever point you're gonna get to.
And
Yeah.
of course, there's going to be a genetic thing to being angry based on that comes from your family. When they say whole countries are that way, they say like Cubans and Italians get really angry, and French people are really calm all the time. You know what I mean?
Do you think it's like that because they exposed to it and are just around it, or do you think it's just because it's in their genes?
I think it's in their genes because I think
Okay,
I think
so
one comes the other. You know what I mean?
because I'm like, who? If that's the case, like it make it seem like people originated certain things. Then so that means like
Yeah.
it had to go so far back that every person was an angry person. I believe that. So say if they're angry or have this uh anger issue, whatever. What if somebody did take the time to fix it? Then so would that part be part of their gene too?
Yeah, but you can't fix an entire country. Like once you see like Italians fly off the handle, like you're not going to be able to like stitch that. You know what I mean? That's just going to be what they are for the
Yeah.
most part.
Well, I'm gonna put it in a different way. Then I'm just saying, like, say if okay, I had my grandfather, or great grandfather. I'm gonna just do four of them. Then great grandfather was a super mean person, whatever. And then I guess they say this so-called passed that to the great grandfather, and he ended up being that way. And then say if the father was about to be that way, and then he ended up being like super. So this how this worked nowadays. He ended up working on himself, right, to being a stable type mind or a peaceful type mind. Then so it's like, what is it up to the baby that he have? Is it up to like? Because I know they like saying stuff skipped over generations or like that. So
Yeah.
it's like, so is it like, is it gonna take after the father, and just because he worked on himself, is it gonna take that peace type genetic thing, or is it gonna be, is he gonna still have the anger type genetic, I guess, or whatever, or the stress? You said the stress, whatever. Is it gonna be in him?
I
I
think it
I don't
is.
know. Oh my bad. You can go, Nate.
No, I just think it is. I think like you could fix anything, but it's a very powerful thing behind it.
Mm. So it's like whatever the last, or whatever your father left off with is what you gonna get, huh? Basically like that.
I think so. I,
Mm.
I think nothing is 100%, but I think for the most part, what I've seen in life, people
Mm-hmm.
like copy who was before them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the situation as well. Like just for instance, like my mom and grandmother, they have a shellfish allergy, right? So genetics, they just genetically predisposed to just be allergic to shellfish and shellfish products and things like that, right?
I can get that one.
Uh
I get that.
versus like you said, the person with stress or more anger and things like that, I feel like it'll be objective versus subjective. Like you got this person that's allergic to shellfish, or they got a shellfish allergy, and that's
Mm-hmm.
more objective. Like,
That's
okay,
objective,
like
yup.
when I eat shrimp or crab or something like that, I get rashes and bumps, or my throat might even close up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus, we talk about kind of like an emotion, anger, that's like more subjective. Like, there's levels to
Yes.
anger. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as like the objective part, yeah, the shellfish, maybe if through generations they expose themselves to
Mm-hmm.
those allergies, and they kind of cope with it. Like, maybe they take a ounce of shrimp a day or something like that, and they get the hives,
Yeah.
and they just adapt to it until it doesn't become a problem anymore. That's one thing. Versus like
Good
saying,
morning.
"Oh yeah,
Good
oh
morning.
hey, how you doing?"
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Versus saying like, "Oh yeah, somebody is making methods to get over their anger and things like that." Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Papa was a mean person, but my father, he started to be nicer to people. That's kind of
E-
subjective, because what
e-
is nicer, things like that, right? So I
Exactly.
think, yeah, those specific genes that we talking about, I guess we would be talking about more subjective than objective, because it's it's
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of easier, I would say, maybe to get over objective gene markers and fix objective gene markers than it is subjective. Like, if I got predisposition to diabetes over somebody, well, maybe
Right.
I'll stay away from cookies and sweets, and maybe I'll
Mm-hmm.
eat cleaner. That's easy. But saying, like, oh yeah, my papa was a mean person, my father was a mean person. Well, I'm gonna try to lower my cortisol and lower my stress to certain situations and try to
Mm-hmm.
be nicer. That's more subjective.
Right. Exactly. That's
Can
what
you
exactly
can you tell me what it say? I can't read it. It's super small. The two subjects
the
you have up there.
the top. Okay. It is what percentage of your race or ethnic background blood makes your race or ethnicity. I'll be trying to say that word so bad. We'll stick with ethnic background.
I I mean, what do you think about it though? Like, if you don't mind me asking.
So because I always ask people their percentage because I know a lot of people like to claim things that they never did DNA research on and stuff. So a lot of people judge us off their skin rather than their DNA. So I be trying to
Oh,
see,
okay.
yeah. So I
Okay.
want to ask like what percentage of it is what make you claim what you say you are.
Okay. So these generational people I know personally. My
Hmm.
great great grandmother is a white tea woman. My great grandmother is a white tea woman and half Native
Hmm.
American, and
Hmm.
my grandmother is half Native American
Hmm.
and African American.
Right.
But I still identify myself as an African American woman
Hmm.
because my grandmother married a black man,
Hmm.
so I am black passing. Even though I have all of those different colors in me, I am a black passing woman. Like if anybody see me, I am a black woman.
Hmm.
But I am married to a man, a white tea man, and my children don't look like me. Like two of my kids are very much white tea passing. Like
Right.
blue eyes, blonde hair, light skin, like
Hmm.
but I still tell them about who they are. Like my kids know who they are. They know they are half of one color and half of another. I don't lie to
Hmm.
them. I don't try to like baby. I don't sugarcoat nothing. If they have questions, they come and ask me or they ask their father, and we give them the real answers because it's real life. Of course, like they gonna get subjected to a lot of things, but I don't want them to learn from the outside when they can learn from me.
Right. So I feel like so at the end of the day is it like your choice of what you feel like because me myself I believe all of us is mixed with a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Not
we
just even
are.
just the two things. Especially by now, it's been so many years of mixing and all that stuff. So isn't it more of a like a choice of what you choose to be or how you want to
Presented.
yeah exactly. That's is it more of a choice?
I mean, it's not really a choice because if you think about it, in this world, I was talking to someone yesterday, right? And I was in her live, and a lot of people present themselves
What
as
I guess basically what I'm
a
getting to. Oh my bad.
oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead. Hello.
Hello. Yeah,
Oh yeah, go ahead. I
we
was letting you
both
speak.
that little. uh, no, I was just saying I was just getting to basically like say we got a like I said I got about five things in me or something like that. Don't I could well shoot I'm Asian, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't I'm technically Asian. I mean just because I don't look like I can still pick the Asian part out my body, right? Because I
Yeah,
got Asian in me, right?
of course.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So I'll be feeling like everybody could just choose it. You know what I'm saying? Rather than how somebody else want to identify me as. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of people are like, oh no, you don't look like into my naked eye, so you don't look like how do you tell somebody who they are because of what you see? You know what I'm saying?
And
It
laugh.
just
I
be
can
funny to
agree
me.
with you. I can agree with you on that because my uncle was in the Navy and he was stationed in Okinawa, Japan. And he has
Hmm.
his wife Janae. She's Asian, like she's Asian, and their kids look just
Hmm.
like you and me.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, they still have age,
Yep.
so they can choose to pick. And we only have so many boxes. Like let's be for real. Like when you go to work,
Hmm.
you go to the doctor, you go to so many things. They have four boxes. They got
I got
white
you.
tea people, African American people, indigenous people, or other. That's all they oh that's all the boxes I've ever seen that we have, like to check a mark in. So
Hmm.
outside of that, you are other because you want to live in your Asian roots.
Hmm. I get you.
So just be you. Like at this point, I don't care what no box say. I don't care what nobody say to you. I don't care what a friend say to you. You are who you are. You came from who you came from. You don't have to
Hmm.
fight that. You don't have to fight that battle with nobody because they don't understand you. and all you're gonna be doing is yelling at them. You know what I mean? And they
Hmm.
gonna say what they want to say. Don't waste your breath on that. If you want to be Asian, baby, listen, be Asian.
Exactly. I feel like the solid and safe way to do it. We human. That's something that you just can't take back. That's objective right there. You can just like
Right,
you
like
don't make no choice to be human
right.
because that's what we is.
We breathe the same breath, we live the
Yup.
same life, we go through the
Yep.
same adversities in life, we go through
Hmm.
all type of different segregation, we go through racism, we go through all this stuff. We are
Stress. We get
all the
everything.
same. Like, you know how much flack I get because I'm married to a white female from my own family? Like, I was like, I deal with it every day,
Wow.
but you know what I did? Listen, this is what I did. I
Right.
mind my business. I moved to a different city, hours and hours away from my mother. And you wanna know what? I'm living the best life I could live. They still over there struggling.
Exactly.
I got a 6 bedroom house living comfortable. Okay?
Exactly. Because you can only
Okay.
live your life. I mean, and
Right.
they gotta ask the question of why do they feel this way? Because like a lot of this stuff be, is brainwashing and stuff that's getting taught to us. Like I was talking about that
Hmm.
history stuff. Like which with me, like I feel like it's hurt more than anything because everybody want to teach the negative parts about it as to why the world is running the way it is now. You know what I'm saying? Which it is a lot of good in the history and stuff, but the way they teach it nowadays, I feel like it's just hurting us more than anything. That's why this world is so messed up right now. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, that's why I'd be like, yeah, like, why are you? We all always try to dig in the root of like, why you feel this way? Why shouldn't I be able to do whatever I want to do with my life? You know what I'm saying? Why do I got to follow your stuff and you stressing out over there? I'm not stressing. I'm at peace. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing
Right.
what I want to do. I'm trying to
Right.
break this little so-called what they call it, a generational curse. Somebody just worded a
Yeah.
better way
A
too. I like how they
generational
said it.
curse.
Who
I know what you mean though.
yeah, but yes. So I'm trying to, break the system. Which somebody else had said a generational habit. I like that though. That's a better word though. So I'm trying to break out of this situation. I'm not trying to be like, because you were. It's obvious that they haven't found a way to keep from stressing out. But I mean, I can't blame it because everybody don't got the same mentality and stuff or whatever.
Mm.
Which that should
Or
be a
intelligence.
genetic type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mr.
But I
Lab,
mean, huh?
I want to say one thing to you because we can't break these generational habits until people actually come to grips with what they say and what they do. Okay, so a
Yeah.
lot of people think that they're African American. That's really
Right.
no such. That's no such thing. That's no such thing.
Right. They made that one up, mixed it
Be-
together.
because there are a lot of people of my color that are indigenous to the
Hmm.
United States.
Yeah.
They were here before Native Americans. But people
Mm.
don't know their history, so they keep calling themselves African American. I can like, baby, you might be
Right.
indigenous to this land. Like, you were
Hmm.
born here.
We getting
When
somewhere.
when Harriet Tubman freed slaves, she took them to Canada.
Mm.
So if
To
she took them
Canada.
to
Wow.
Canada, how are
Mm.
you how are you necessarily from Africa if you don't know your roots?
I get you. Yeah, exactly. Because that's your nationality. You know what I'm saying? Nationality is where you
Right?
born or where
You
you born
black.
from.
I mean, they ain't no
Right.
nationality like you black. It ain't no African nothing. You black.
Right. Exactly.
You ain't don't. It's Afro Indigenous people here on this land that has been here since the beginning of time. Before Christopher
Hmm.
Columbus, before Native Americans, it was Afro Indigenous people. You
Mm.
could you could be from the South or you could be from up here or Canada. That don't mean you African.
Hmm.
You just Afro Indigenous, and people don't know their roots, so they keep calling themselves AA because that's all they know. Like that's all the
Hmm.
world taught us. The world taught us when
Exactly.
we was born, if you brown like me, you African American.
Right.
I don't know nothing about Africa. I don't know the first things about their traditions, their culture, nothing.
It's funny part about it. We get mad about stuff we really don't know. That's the
Right,
funniest
like you
part.
don't know nothing
It's,
about Africans. Like you don't get mad if somebody's like, I did my genealogy. I did it. I am Afro-Indigenous.
Mm-hmm.
I am from the United States.
Mm-hmm.
My family is from the United States. And I know my family is from the
Mm-hmm.
United States just by looking at it because my great-great-grandmother was a Native American woman and my grandfather was black. But they were from here. They were from
Mm-hmm.
Alabama.
Yep. And that's what
People,
that's what nationality come from. Whatever land you were born on. That's how that is.
right. So sometimes you got to bear with them because I always tell people this one thing, and I don't want to preach too much, but the lack of not knowing,
Mm-hmm.
you can learn knowledge, but the lack of not listening is ignorance.
Okay. Bars.
So sometimes you got to sit down and baby people and coddle them a little bit and walk them through their actual like being because they don't really know. So they're going to go with what they
Mm-hmm.
hear all the time. And then that's the lack of
Got you.
not understanding. So they need that
It's a
knowledge.
lot of people like that. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people is getting hurt from just following. You know what I'm saying? They don't even. That's why. That's
Like,
why I asked that question earlier. It was the question I asked earlier.
and what do you mean by, do you believe it is a dominant gene? Like, what do you mean by like,
Yeah, I be hearing somebody people say there's a dominant gene or whatever. I ain't do my deep research on it, but I just it's something I'm getting to about that too though.
I mean, I I really think people of our color, right?
Mhm.
We can create anything.
Mhm.
We can create a baby that has two parents that look like me and have a blonde
Yeah.
hair, light skinned baby. We can create all type of
Right.
different genes.
Yeah.
So my children, they look more like my husband.
Mhm.
And I would say that their dominant gene is their white gene
Mm.
because it's prevalent. You can see it. You won't even think I'm their mother
Mm.
because they don't look anything like me. They're not the same color as me. They look more like him. Like they just look like him. Like you couldn't
Right.
even tell these kids had any color in them. If you looked at him, like, wait, that's your baby? I'm like, yeah, that's my little
Yeah.
boy.
So
And so
so
this
for what I
this my husband. So I'm gonna just show you that's my husband.
okay.
And so
Okay.
I got two kids that look like him, and I got one that look like me, like split image
Mhm.
of me, like my twin. He my twin in them.
Twinning them.
He my twin in them. And like I don't think it's a such thing as like a stronger or a back gene. Like if you mix with two things, you can take one side or the other side,
Right.
or you can be in between.
Mhm. So what I'm gonna get, what I'll get to with that. So I heard. So from what I heard, and this is what I'm about to do. How I'm trying to do this though is like. So what I heard, they said what the black gene or whatever they want to call it, right? They said that's one of the strongest one that kind of takes over, right?
Yes.
Besides just the appearance and stuff. So my whole point of getting to that is like it's either that's why I say we either all mixed or if that gene so called takes over, right?
Right.
That mean we all got that too by now because everybody literally mixed or got that in them. Some I believe by now somebody got some black in them by now. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's the tiniest of them all, or we all might have came from a black type gene. You know what I'm saying? So no matter how we look at it, I feel like all of us still the same by
Yeah.
now. You know what I'm saying? So
They
we
just don't
just be
want to accept
separating each
it.
other for nothing.
Yeah, they don't want to accept it. But like,
Yeah.
have you ever seen those white tea people that got them big bouncy curly like blonde hair, but it look like it's our hair, like it's hard to manage?
Yeah.
That's because down the line they are not full white tea.
Exactly.
But they don't want to accept that because they don't want to mix or splice their genes. Like they don't
Mm-hmm.
want to accept who they are. And so
Right.
we can't help them with their acceptance of who they are. We
Mm-hmm.
can tell them, all we want to. We can tell them until our voice go away. We can tell them till we blue in the face. That don't mean they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna accept it because to be honest, like it's only one race that use racism as a thing. There's no one else. You can't do that if, okay, so the whole hierarchy of racism, it comes from empowerment. So if natives, people of our color, indigenous people never had that, how can they be racist?
Right.
We've always been at the bottom of the totem pole. Even when Christopher Columbus came over here and sat down and had dinner with Native Americans and then did what he did and created all this genocide. They still were empowered because they came from European lands and they thought that they conquered America. So to conquer America, what did they do?
Create the separation.
And kill everybody that was here.
Alive.
Oh, I'm sorry, unalive. I'm sorry. And my thing is that, like, I hate living in that box because so many people out here like to separate us and treat one person better than the other. And I'm like, y'all, we all gotta live here, bro. We all gotta go through these same adversities. We gotta go through, right now we're going through the worst of the worst. Remember when the baby boomers had a recession?
Yeah,
it was not nearly as bad as it is now.
Oh my.
You can't find diapers. You can't find feminine products. It's hard to find food. Everything is going up in price. You can't afford to have one person in your house working because we all one check away from being homeless, the way recession is right now. So when somebody say that I'm married and I shouldn't work and my husband should be working, of course he worked. He paid most of the bills, but I work because I want to help my husband. I don't want to see him stressing out. I want him to know that he got his best friend on this side because I'm going to make sure him and my family eat regardless.
That's real. That's real, man.
And that's just the type of person I am. Like, people be like, oh, well, you got a husband. Why are you out here doing? I'm like, because I don't want to see my children outside. I have babies invested in this relationship outside of my husband. So if my husband just got a concussion from work, he was off for a whole week. Guess what I did? I worked 14 hours a day for 2 weeks straight to make sure we was good. I don't play that. Like, I'm not that type of person that, like, oh, he's supposed to take care of me. Like, no, he had an
You
issue.
ain't hold it against his head either, because you seen it. You know aware of it.
Was
You don't
there.
got that entitlement and all that stuff.
I had to take care of him. I'm the one that had to make sure every day when he didn't really remember nothing, or, he was going through bloody noses, head hurting, I was the one there. Like, so I'm not going to make that man stress no more than what he have to. Because he's my person. He's my person. I'm his person. Like, his mom lived all the way in Australia. I can't get her to help me. I'm like, she all the way in a different continent. Like,
hey, they drunk. Voice get low. The mom stuff go low.
So, I mean, life is just like, it go full circle. Like you said about the generational, how you said it, generational
curse.
No, you said it was another word, generational.
Oh, generational habits.
Generational habits. I've had those. I ain't gonna lie, but I've learned a lot about a lot of things in a small time that I've been here on this, God green earth. I've had to go through so much, like taking care of my grandma. She passed away from COVID. And then I was taking care of my other grandma, and she passed away from a heart attack. And then 2 weeks ago, my father just passed away. And then he lived in New York. And then 2 days ago, my great grandmother just passed. So I'm kind of like in this world trying to figure it out alone, but I'm getting through it. You can only go through life if you get through it. You know what I mean? You can only understand from losing or hurting or experience. So we just have to sit down and be humble. And that's a lot of people. Like, I was born in the 90s. I was born in 95. So I've had experience from people born in the 80s, the 70s, and the 50s. So I've took on all those generations and I made it my own.
Mm.
My
Wow.
my grandma born in the 50s. She was the one that always taught me how to save money. If somebody asks you something, you broke. Okay.
Right.
I ain't
Exactly.
got it. But I got a few dollars in my pocketbook, but I ain't gonna let you know.
Exactly. That's right. I do that a lot. Like, man, I'm
Mm-hmm.
broke. I'm gonna be broke even if I'm a millionaire. I'm broke.
Don't come listen, cause I'm the same person that ain't never had no help. Like I couldn't call nobody when I was going through. I had to figure it out by myself. So when you call me, like, can I get? Listen, I ain't even got it. I ain't got it. Don't ask.
I ain't got it for you. And you ain't see those tiny, tiny words at the end. I ain't got it for you.
So I mean, man, I feel like all these little conversations we be having and stuff like that. If we don't get to the root of what really is the problem,
Hmm.
all we doing is just talking and yelling at each other. And I've learned that
Exactly.
from being in people's lives. And when you give them the right answer or knowledge them in certain things, all they do is yell at you because they don't want to understand.
Exactly. They want to
Mm.
stay sticking with what they know. You know what I'm saying? What's the point of just sticking with what you know instead of everybody trying to learn from each other or think of a different, see stuff from a different point of view and see other possibilities and stuff? You know.
Laugh. I swear to God, it was crazy. So I was in a live and they was like, "Are you married?" I'm like, "Yes." And they're like, "Are you married to a man of color?" Like, what do that even mean? Like, why you gotta ask
Like,
me that?
right? Why?
And
Why are you
then
asking that? Right?
yes, they actually was like, "Oh, you must be a gold digger. His credit must be right." I'm like,
It's called
y'all,
projection.
y'all do too much. Because at the end of the day, my credit is good. Okay.
That's projection. They look at themselves. They feel that that's their reason. If they were to do it themselves, that'd be the reason. That's a lot of times to be projection because they can't picture themselves doing it, and then
But
what
me
they've
and
been
my
taught.
husband went to school together as kids. We
Hmm.
played together on the playground, the merry-go-round. He used to push me on the swings, and I grew up apostolic faith. So
Hmm.
I was a preacher's kid.
Hmm.
I had to live my life by the book. I had to wear dresses. I couldn't wear red. I couldn't wear black nail polish. Straightforward religion.
Uh-huh.
So as soon as me and my husband was getting close when we was kids, and like well, not really kids, but like teenagers, and like I was always around him. He was always around me. We was over there a little lovey dovey, but not too much. And my grandparents was like, "Hey, if you finna have them impure thoughts, baby, you gotta get married." So I married him, and I'm like, it's the best decision I've ever made.
Right.
It don't always
Right.
start. It don't always start like that, but I mean, everybody's life is different from mine.
Exactly.
So I mean,
It's all about adapting,
yeah,
adapting and compromising.
and like when everybody asks about my relationship, I just tell them I'm like, we like Step Brothers, the movie.
Mm. Right.
Like we had a bumpy beginning, but once we realized that we were so much alike, we became friends.
Yep. That's that looking at the I had a live about that yesterday, looking at similarities instead of differences. Differences usually be tearing people up.
It don't tear them up. They just don't like. They don't like what they don't know. That's what
Yeah.
humans. We don't like what we don't know, and that's for everybody. Like if you
Hmm.
don't like this one thing or you don't like this other thing, of course you gonna feel like it's different. But if you understand that one thing and that person understand your one thing and then y'all talk about it, y'all can figure it
Hmm.
out.
Yep. Feel you on that. Nate, you ain't fall asleep down there, did you? I asked people if they come in here, they got to bring a pillow.
Mm-mm.
Bring a pillow and get comfortable.
Like I'm I'm a store manager. I'm trying not to work, but they blowing my little phone up, okay?
Uh-oh. They said, we need you. You're one of our best workers. We need
Oh,
somebody to
I'm
come in on Memorial Day.
listen, I make that $30 an hour.
Uh,
Shit, I ain't never been scared of money. Ooh, I'm so scared. Clock
All
in.
right. I can't do it. It's extra money.
Listen, that money be hitting differently when it come in that account. It be hitting differently. I'm like, what's up? I'm outside. I love a good check.
Right, exactly. Gotta appreciate it. Hard
Man,
work pay off.
and it do. And that's what like I be like when women be like, I would never work when I'm married. I'm like, first off, you say what you want to say. Okay, go ahead, go for
Right.
it. But to
Realize
this
you said
day,
I.
like listen, they're like, oh, you want to work today? And do. I might not really want to go in, but I'm gonna make this change. Okay. I don't believe in that whole my husband taking care of me because like people don't realize I see life for what it is. I don't see it just by being married. I see life for what it really is. Like if that man is making all the money for your right,
Uh-huh.
and he just decided to dip out, what you got?
Yeah, I feel you on that. I think it just depends on person by person, though. I can believe on both ends. I just say whatever fits with people, you know. Uh, Me myself, I am more I highly agree with the traditional. If it worked, you know what I'm saying. I feel like that's the best route if things work. Because I feel like that's what's best for, especially the child or whatever. This the mother can stay home and take care of the child instead of the grandparents taking care of the child or whatever. And uh, the dude, the woman take care of the house and the man take care of all the bills and all that stuff. But like I said, and that's what I mean about from this point, you got to do what fits you or what works. You know what I'm saying? Because as much as I would love to do that, I don't know if I'm gonna be in that type of predicament unless I was a millionaire or something. I don't know, or if I just had some money or whatever. I might can make it work, but it's how the environment is and how all this everything is and how the laws is and all that stuff is just gonna be, it's kind of different, especially with my situation. But I feel like that's the best route when it worked the right way, when people ain't divorcing and cheating and all this extra stuff or whatever. I feel like that's the best route.
Oh, forget that! I turn into Ike Turner. You ain't gonna cheat on me.
But I was talking about in a perfect relationship wise, I do feel like that's all, especially for the
I
child.
mean, I mean, that's good, but I mean, like, life is the same for everybody, regardless of where you come from, how much money you got, or anything
Hmm.
like that, or inheritance or whatever.
Yeah.
So, the way my life worked, my children are of school age. I got a 10-year-old, soon to be 11-year-old in June. I
Hmm.
got a 7-year-old, and I got a 5-year-old. So, throughout 9 months of the year, my kids are at school all day.
Hmm.
So, while I'm working, my kids at school, I get off before they get home. And then I take care of my children. I clean my house. I cook for them. I get them their tablets. I let them live life as a child.
Living a life like it's golden.
They daddy work until 7 p.m. So when he get home, food is already cooked. The kids already clean, got baths, then already ate. They probably eating their snack before they go to bed. So I can still take care of home and work a full-time job and still take care of my husband at the end of the day. So it ain't no excuse for why. Like I mean, like unless your kids is babies and you gotta do daycare.
Hmm.
Other than that, you can still be a full-time woman, working woman, and come home and take care of your family. Like that's all I live for. Like if it wasn't for my kids and my husband, I probably just be working my butt off, never come home, just be home for a second. But because I have stability and I have a family, I know how to
Hmm.
compartmentalize everything in my life.
Right.
Cause it don't come overnight, but you learn your own routine. So I created my own routine, and I still take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. Ain't nothing lacking. My house look beautiful, immaculate. My kids taken care of, they healthy. My husband, he work my nerves, but he cool. He cool people though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just all about what you want to do. It's
Yeah, it's
personal.
all about what fits or what works. You know what I'm saying? We can't really just live life according to everybody else. If
Yeah.
whatever works for you, that is what it is. All people can really do is just give advices and make suggestions. But if you know what I'm saying, if you don't really need the advice or if everything working right with you, you know what I'm saying, what's the point? Just you either take it or you do it with applies and what might work or what don't work or what work with you already. So.
I mean, but we all in this world can use advice. Like, I mean,
All of us, yeah, most definitely.
we
I
can
say that
all
too.
use advice. Like, because
I
there's
think that
certain
was you that was
things.
in here. We was talking about the relationship. Oh yeah, that's when I think I met you in here. And
Yeah.
relationship advice stuff from
Like,
single people.
like that's why I was like, because I don't know, like, to be honest, like, I really sympathize for single mothers. Because if I had to raise my children alone, I don't know what I would do because these kids be hell on wheels some days. Like, I'd be like, you know what? Go ask your daddy. I'm sick of it. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I'm like, y'all irritating a little bit. Y'all just be doing too much. And like, I can't imagine like living my life as a single woman, like with children, because like I feel like they have it so hard because women are trying to raise boys by themselves. And it's only so much a woman can do to raise a man. You know what I mean? Like they
Hmm.
still need that manly figure in their life. And if they don't have it, they will have all the traits of their mother because that's who they were raised by.
Hmm. Exactly. That's where that nurture mean nurture
That's
over
why a
nature
lot of
type
men
situation.
that's why a lot of men are sensitive to their feelings because they were
Hmm.
raised by women. And it's
Yep.
not a bad thing, but it's because they were raised by single mothers. A mama can't teach you how to like when my sons was potty training. I got one girl, but I got two boys. And so when my
Hmm.
sons was potty training, like one day I told him like, man, just sit down and do it. And he kept trying to do that. And so I handed him off to his daddy, and his daddy went in the bathroom, and he was like, Legend, you got to stand up like this, and you got to do this. You got to clean up the toilet seat if you drop anything. I couldn't teach him that. How I'm gonna stand up?
Right. Exactly.
So it's
I
certain
swear there's a
things.
lot of dudes out here that's still sitting on the toilet to pee. The way they act.
But like, and you get what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot of things that women can do, but we can't do certain things that men should know growing up. So if you
Exactly.
only have a mother, of course that man is gonna be more nurturing. He gonna be more sensitive with his feelings. He gonna tell you how he feel because he had a mother doing the same thing.
Hmm.
And then people like a lot of women bash men like that, but a lot of them women be from single parent households too. So I don't understand
Hmm.
why they do that. Like I'm like, you a woman, so it's easy for you to say these things, but when it's a man doing it, you want to bash him for being the way he is. But you got to
Boy.
realize he was raised by a single mother.
Exactly.
So I don't judge, but you know how people is today.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody think they got the best life and they know everything, yet they stressing about everything too at the same time. Should be weird.
Cause like at my job the other day, they was talking about this one dude named Isaiah I hired, right?
Hmm.
But my oldest son is severely autistic, right? I've been dealing
Yeah.
with that since he was 3 years old. Like I've dealt with it, took him to psychologists, took him to all the doctors he needed to go to, figured out, physical therapy, his eating habits, all that. And she looked at him and she was like, I don't want him on the front counter because the way he looks and he doesn't look in your eyes. I'm like, he's severely autistic. She's like, how you know? I'm like, my child is the same way. He don't make
Hmm.
eye contact. I'm like, but he's one of your best workers. She's like, well, still. I'm like, you're not giving nobody a chance. How you gonna just throw him to the wolves if you don't know nothing about him?
Exactly.
And I said, if you fire him, I'm leaving right now. To this day, Isaiah's still there. Because I'm not gonna let you hurt nobody's feelings because you and your feelings. I don't do that around here. I give everybody a platform to talk to me. That's why every time I come in, they look at me, they're like, "You the best manager we ever had. You teach us in the funniest way." I'm like, because I know everyone is different. I'd rather see you smiling than being mad. I don't like to see people being mad.
Exactly. Feel on that. I
So,
love that smile on people's faces and stuff, or seeing progression and stuff.
like
But
when
a lot of people get it be hate behind it because that's how they got taught to people, man, or that jealousy and all that stuff or whatever.
like
It's just crazy.
I teach my crew so funny, so every time I come in, like I literally have like 4 to 5 people walking up, hugging me, talking, "I'm glad you here." Like, you know what I mean? Like I got you. You good? We got this. Like we just sit there and we laugh and we talk. And they be like, "How are you a manager? And you so cool. Like you ain't." I'm like, I'm a manager. I ain't no soldier. Like, I mean, I got emotions too, but I would rather see everybody around me smiling and happy than to see everybody with a mean and mad mug on their face. Like, I want to see y'all thrive the same way I gotta thrive. And to this day, like they even yesterday, he told me, he was like, "I'm so glad you're here. You one of the best managers I've ever worked with. You cool." I'm like, "I'm only 28. I can't be that mean."
Give me a couple
I
years
mean,
so I can get me inside on something.
right, maybe 35. I probably have a little.
Be more set in my ways.
I mean, I got gray hair, so they did think I was older, but it's just hereditary for me. Like
Hmm.
my granddad was like, my grandma told me before she passed away, she's like, my granddad had a full head of gray hair by the time he was 21. So
Oh
it's
wow.
hereditary for me.
Hmm.
I got this
Genetics.
I got this big old gray patch in the front of my hair. I call it Have you ever watched The Nanny? But with Fran Drescher.
Uh, I don't remember. No, probably didn't. I probably did. I have so much shows I haven't been watching. I was such
Listen,
a game head. I just was not watching shows and movies.
the dude that she worked for had a big old patch, just one long patch of gray hair, and that's how mine coming in the front of my head.
Is I'm from your family too, then?
You might be, my boy.
I must be. I done found my true family. My mama
Look
is not
at
my
her.
mama. Say nah.
Like I had more gray hair than my grandma when she passed. I'm like, wait a minute. Stop this bus. Everybody's like, man, you got gray already. My youngest son, he got gray hair too. He
Hmm.
only 5.
Right. Mine started with little strand, one strand when I was in my, I think my, what was it? It had to be my early 20s.
Did yours start out like mine, where it was like the gray hair was harder to manage than your black hair? Like it came out like very like sharp, hard, like because my gray
Nah.
hair, it came in like when it started coming in because of how long my hair was.
Hmm.
The gray hair felt like harder than my black hair.
Man, nah. I ain't really, I knew it came out easier when you pulled it out. Do a
You
hard
don't do
snatch on
that.
it.
That's a no. Don't you ever do that because it's gonna come back tenfold.
That's what they say. Yeah, they be saying that though. But that was like later in the years after when I wasn't snatching it out and it grew more. So I was like, man, this junk is a myth. I just got tired of it after that.
Listen, I like my gray hair. Call me Granny if you want to. Hey, Granny.
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is, right? I'm not me myself. I've never been the type to try to do this cover up stuff because the people gonna see me how they gonna see me regardless. I'm not about to jump in a pool and come out a whole different person because my dye came off my head and stuff. I'm good on that.
When people ask me certain questions, I'm like, I'm already married, baby. So what's gonna happen is gonna happen. I already got my
Right.
person.
Exactly.
I ain't trying to prove nothing to y'all, baby. If I got this gray hair, I'm gonna wear it proudly. Okay,
Right.
it's here to stay. It ain't going nowhere. The only reason I dyed my hair is because I had blue hair before I started my job. 6 weeks ago, I had bright blue hair. I used to like to dye my hair.
You say what?
I had bright blue hair before I started my management job, and because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a manager, I gotta have like solid colors like blonde, black, stuff like that. So, I mean, I had blue hair, but now it's kind of like a brown, blackish color. But you can still see my gray. I let her grow out. I don't mess with sis.
Mm-hmm.
I let sis be sussy. So she there.
Saucy.
But anyway, how your morning going, handsome?
I'm good. I'm Gucci. I am Gucci. Gucci. So,
I love
trying
that for you.
to I guess I'm just taking advantage of the little time I got. I mean, till I gotta work the day after tomorrow. So I was like, shoot, I usually don't even get on Sundays and stuff. So yeah, I just said I might
You
as well
know
get this
what?
topic on my mind. Sleep now, but then wake up in a minute soon. And
You
maybe
know
like,
what made me real mad?
what's that?
Weekends don't mean nothing when you get older. I used to love a good weekend. You know what I mean? Like I was looking forward to a weekend. Now, like people like,
Yeah,
"What you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "Working." Like what? What do you mean?
being grown folk.
I'm telling you, like when I was a kid, I couldn't wait for Friday after school. I was running home. Okay,
Hmm.
I was like, I'm finna go to my granny house, eat up all her food, and leave. Look now, like Saturday and Sunday, like, what you doing? Working? I mean,
Work.
what everybody else doing?
They looking at you like, where you been at?
Right.
You don't spend time with Granny no more.
Weekends don't be weekending no more.
Right.
Yeah,
Time be flying too. I see what they be meaning. Where they be like, where did the time go? I see exactly what they meaning now. Cause these years be just flying.
I was just 18 last week. I swear to God, I was.
What the heck? I thought I was 6 like 2 weeks ago too.
I
Say
swear, like
that.
after 18, life just hit me with a freight
Hmm.
train. Like it would just, I'm like, I'm almost 30 years old in real life.
Hmm. Mine was like 25 because I think that's what I was looking forward to. I guess it was 21 at first, then 25 was when like max, so I couldn't get asked to get to like I can go on every club and insurance was all. It's like it was something I was looking forward to, and after 25, it just did not slow down for me at all. I'm like, what the heck?
But see, we grew up in a time where you had to be 18 to do everything.
Exactly, that's what took
As
so
soon
long.
as you was 18, you could do whatever you wanted. Now they changed the legal limit to 21
Oh wow,
a few years ago. So you can't buy no cigarettes, you can't do no lottery, you can't do nothing until you're 21.
21. Okay.
Yep, they changed the whole thing. Like we was 18. As soon as we turned 18, we was slapping the ID down, okay?
I always thought about like what really make you grown. You know what I'm saying? Even though I think I know the answer though, but it's just like we going based off of what people this legal age. You know what I'm saying? But what
Right.
really make you grown? I feel like grown is it's more of a mentality though. But then
It
again, I
is.
think just because I think we put on Earth to procreate or whatever. I feel like as soon as we get our I think really grown would be um puberty hit type situation. That's probably why when they was younger, they was getting married younger and all that stuff or whatever. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I think that's when what made you like physically grown, I guess, in that way.
Yeah.
But mentally, if we talking about grown from there, I don't even know. I think that's when everybody, people, it's like maturity levels. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people
Yeah.
that's like 50 years old still act like teenagers.
I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying?
but that's because maturity don't come with age.
It don't come with age, no.
And when you said about puberty, that made people grown. Like that mean I was grown at 9 years old. That don't make you grown. It
Exact.
just, it
That's the reason
just,
why I just said that too. Yeah, because I just thought about that this week actually. I was like, dang.
it just make you able to do certain things and procreate. That's the only thing that comes
Yeah,
with puberty. Like
yeah,
age and maturity get mixed up a lot, and I've seen that a
yeah.
lot
They
in my
do.
life. because I hired a woman that's older than me. She's like 40 something. She don't like to take answers from me because of my age, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's very immature for being a 40-year-old. And I tell everybody, maturity does not come with age. It comes with
They
time.
don't.
It comes with learning. It comes with like knowledge. So a lot of people don't have people telling them the right things. Like it's a lot of people in this world, and I don't want to call nobody out, but it's really a
Uh-huh.
lot of people in this world that thrive off of somebody telling them what they want to hear and not what they need to
Mm-hmm.
hear.
Exactly.
So that's where immaturity comes because like they
Yep.
they just like to hear what they want to hear. Don't mean it's right, but as long as you agreeing with them, they gonna go with it.
Do you feel like it just like I was saying? I feel like even besides that, like I think because time was so different from back then, I think they were kind of forced into growing up or being or be more responsible and stuff or whatever. Like I feel like so say if like the world wasn't the way it was or whatever, I feel like at a certain age or whatever that you some people can be I can't say smarter. That's why they probably got that show Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader too. That makes sense too now. All this stuff just popping in my brain out of nowhere. But I feel like some I feel like a 10-year old can be probably I think if depending on how much work you put into them and the parents in behind it, I think it might be a 10-year old that's out in this world that's more mature than a 50-year old. I'll be feeling like, but I think it's just how you get grew up, how you get brought up though.
But you want to know why you all these things coming in your head
Hmm.
because you got somebody testing your intelligence.
Hmm.
So now me and you talking on that level, you finna think about everything that you really be wanting to say, but you don't
Hmm.
have people in here that's willing to like soak it up and listen.
Right, right,
So that's how I treat life. I'm like, when you're testing my intelligence in my brain and you listening to me and you understanding where I'm coming from, I'm gonna have a lot of questions.
right.
Because like I want to hear from another intelligent person. Like I don't want to speak at you. I want to speak to you.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
that's where that comes from because we don't have a lot of people in the world that's willing to like, my fault, my bad. I didn't know that.
Oh
Tell
yeah,
me
the
about it.
ego.
Tell me about it. Elaborate. You know what I mean? We don't have that in the world. Everybody want to think they right about everything.
Or you sound stupid. They want to say that real quick.
Yeah. So we don't have a lot of people in the world like that. That's why a lot of people tend to think that I'm older. Like people
Hmm.
really think that I'm like maybe 30s, 40s because of the way I speak. And I tell
Hmm.
them like, no, I'm only 28, but I was raised around baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Z, and I'm a millennial. So I've had 2 to 3 generations that I'm learning from. So I'm always willing to shut my mouth and open my ears
Hmm.
because I can't be right about everything. Because if I was right about everything, I would rule the world, right?
Right, exactly. Be a god. So,
Right. So I tell everybody, I'm like, sometimes we gotta take ourselves out of the place we at and humble ourselves and just listen. Because you can always learn something from someone. And I
the
mean,
heck?
that's all.
Somebody had glass back here. I heard. What the heck is in that glass? Say,
I
bro.
don't know. I'm drinking wine.
I know that sound. That's crazy. That made me sound like a drunk or something. What's that noise? That sound like a liquor or something.
Liquor.
Right.
It's
And
liquor.
wine and dime.
One thing about me, after work, I'm gonna have my glass of wine.
That's right. That's where the wine came. If you're gonna dine, you gotta wine. Gotta wine with the dime.
So my husband might drink the hard liquor, but baby, when I come home, if I ain't got that Cabernet Sauvignon, oh, it's gonna be hell. Okay, pour my drink up. Clink clink.
I had right. I done gave that up though. The heavy liquor and stuff. I stopped all that when I made a lot of changes in my life or whatever. I gave up a lot of stuff to where cause I always like, how is this benefit my future and stuff. And I always try to that's why I tell people like before you make your next step or you say your next word or you make your next decision, always look at how this might play into your future. Because a lot of people like reacting faster than, thinking it out.
Right.
That's where
I
we be.
don't I don't know where wine go take me, and I'll be honest. But
Take
I'm
you
gonna drink.
to the king.
Listen. I'm gonna drink these grapes now.
Right. That's
Mm.
that real stuff, man. You can have a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? Just don't get toe up with it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get the big bottles, and I finish half in like 2 or 3 days, and then finish the other
Mm-hmm.
half.
Yeah.
I ain't no heavy drinker. Like I don't, you know what I mean. Like I don't indulge myself too
Till it
much. Like
become poisonous.
yeah, like I go to work for 4 5 days, and when I'm finally off and finally sitting down, take them shoes off, pour my drink, bro. I'm not playing with you.
Pour up another one.
I look like DJ Khaled in another one.
Right. We the best. That's after you get done with it.
Listen, I'm the nicest person you want to speak to when I get that wine in me. I'm listening to everything. My kid, my kids be annoying a little bit when I come. Like, who are you? Like, if you was not my child and we didn't have the same blood, I really would think you out here to get me. Like, y'all giving very much scandalous. Like, it's giving. Who are y'all? Like, y'all just came here less than 10 years ago. We don't even know y'all like that. Like,
Right.
y'all new here. Like, y'all the new kids on the block. So, like,
Yeah,
not
be
too much
thinking they
on me.
smarter than their parents and stuff.
Listen, I be vaping a little bit sometimes here and there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my youngest son, Legend, and I know why I named him that, but my youngest son, Legend,
Uh-huh.
the he was so smart. Like when he was born, he was holding his head up, like doing push-ups in his baby thing at the hospital in that little warmer. He was lifting
Mm-hmm.
himself up, got his head up. I'm like, he gonna be hell on wheels. I can already
Wow.
see. Like he took my vape. I ain't pay attention because I don't really hit it like that. Like maybe once or twice in a week. Like I don't do it much. And he found it, and he was in the corner, and I seen the corner smoking. So I'm thinking like something on fire. It's this little bad demon over there hitting on my vape, like hitting it like he knew how to smoke. Like
Mm.
I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna tell your daddy. I ain't even finna deal with that right now. I'm gonna just take it from you and tell your daddy what you did. And he told his daddy, he said, he was like, I is sorry. I is so sorry, Papa. I is sorry. I'm like, you ain't sorry. You is not sorry. He just do anything not to get a whooping.
Anything, right? Try to make you be smart with it too. Like, let me go ahead and make them feel sad real quick.
And his daddy fall for him every time, but he do not realize that child is a demon. That boy can, that boy can do anything under the sun, and his daddy coming to save him. He got kicked out of school for biting the kid. Why
Oh
the hell is
wow.
you biting folks?
Yeah, ah,
Like
give
people
me that.
got roaches. People don't clean up. They don't take baths and nothing. You just biting folks.
Yeah.
Just ignorant. I'm telling you, I can't handle them. Like half the time, I'm calling his daddy. I don't care if you at work. Come deal with your child. I'm not finna. I can't do Legend today. He be like, what he did today. Like you already know he bad. Why would you ask me that? And you see that picture I got up right now? You see that little
Yeah.
pudge I had
Let me see.
at the bottom of my stomach, the little pudge?
It's a little, maybe. I think it's a little bit.
I was
What about it?
32. I was 32 weeks pregnant and didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
I was still going through the monthly everything. Like I didn't even know I was pregnant. I just thought I had gas. I went to the hospital because I'm like something wrong with me. I'm sick. I don't feel good. They did the ultrasound thing. They was like, congratulations. It looks like you're 32 weeks. I said, well, what? With who? She's like, it's a boy. I'm like, wait, you gotta slow this train down. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, you're 32 weeks pregnant. I'm like, you bullshit. I passed out for 2 hours. I was like, this can't be right. Like, I just know, like, God wouldn't do this to me. I'm a
So what
child of
happened?
God.
What done happened?
And that was the reason that me and my husband named him Legend, because I'm like, baby, you done survived through a couple tequila shots. You done survived through a lot.
Wow.
And to this day, that boy is hell on wheels. I be wanting to sell him every day. He sleep right now, so I ain't gonna wake dude up. He might be my my other two kids. I know. Listen, I know when my youngest son is up, and I swear you gonna laugh. I know when my youngest son is up, cause his older two siblings is scared of him. Like he be doing them in, and they be trying to like be the bigger sibling and be nice to him, but they run away. They be like, "Leave me alone, Legend. Stop it, stop it." I'm like, "Okay, he up. He wrong. He just me."
Said, stop it.
He like, how you chasing around a 10-year-old and you barely got legs? He be going. He be going. This is his house.
That's how I be too. They be trying to run it.
They be up
This is
in here.
me. I
They
brought
be up
myself
in
in this
here
world.
watching TV and Netflix. Oh, he gonna grab that remote. He don't care what none of them doing. He finna change it to the Power Rangers. He don't care if you watching TV, nothing.
I don't care if this is about the news or not. I don't care if it's snowing tomorrow. I'm watching my Power Rangers.
And I be looking at his daddy. I'm like, it's your fault. Like it really is your fault. Cause why? How would you create something like this? Like, why would you do that to me?
Right.
I got this much patience, and my son took it all. The oldest two, easy to potty train, love on. They so sensitive. They love their mom and their daddy. But that youngest one, he a rebel. Like he needs to be a Black Panther. That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
He's giving very much Malcolm X. Do unto others as you want done unto you.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll beat you up with the love of the Lord and then act like he nice. I'm
Right.
like,
Hold
Lord,
up. Give
do
me 1 second. I'm about to grab some stuff real quick. Try not to
all
fall
right.
asleep and be right back, though.
Okay. I
And
think
for all the
Grace
new
is
people
asleep.
in here, y'all can tap and share, man. All the new people that's in here.
Tap the screen. Tap the screen. We here. Hey, Chance. Hey, everyone. My man's finna go grab. Hey, user. I don't know your name, but hey, user. Hey, tap the screen, y'all. Tap the screen for my boy. Hi, Glennis. Oh, that's my brother name, Glenn. Hi.
Let's see something real quick. Here we go. Ah. So, got me a little snack for now. A little snackety snack. There we go. Welcome back. Welcome back.
I'm so sorry about that. My job just called. They did prep at my job, but they didn't label stuff, so they was asking me, was it okay? So I had to talk them through how to put the stuff together at my job.
Okay, you say you the big boss over there.
Big boss, heavy on the big boss.
It's a heavy on.
Heavy on it, not light. Yeah, they was trying to throw away some good stuff. I'm like, listen, I was like, I did prep the other day. I didn't have that the other day. That's new. She just forgot to put dates on it. I'm like, that's all new. Don't throw away my stuff. No, they ain't need me, baby. All right. Okay. Love you. Yeah, I ain't gotta go to work, Papa. I sure want to make that holiday money. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Ain't nothing like it, man. They give you like double or triple sometimes.
They give me double, so I get like almost $40.
Sweet.
I'm like, I ain't even gonna lie. When she said we won't need you, I'm like, man, I want that little money real bad. I'm gonna still work my way up in there. I'm gonna call back at like 10 or 11 in the morning. Like, y'all still need me? Go make them little coins.
They give me a couple dollars, bro.
It's the few one, a little chump change. I only get 5 hours in. I ain't gonna hold you.
Right, father. At least buy you some annihilators or something. So like, no.
I live in a predominantly YT town. We ain't even got annihilators. We ain't got the good hot tips here. We ain't got
Laters and nows. Later nows. Got them backwards.
Listen, we only got clear fruit here. They used to be my water back in the day.
Oh yeah, that clear foot. Yeah.
The little blue bottle. They got them with the. Have you seen they changed them? Now they got the little top on it. The little. Almost like, what's that? Ice Mountain water. They got that little flip top.
Nah, I haven't seen that.
That's how the clear fruits come now. They got that little flip top on them. I used to love me a good clear fruit. I ain't gonna hold.
Is that the one that you squirt or something like that?
Yeah, like you can, yeah. And I'm like, I don't need that. I missed a big one, like with the blue top on them. Shoot, I love a good clear fruit. I'm originally from Alabama. We used to have knee-high peach. Oh, when I tell you that hit exponentially, and it be
not
so
exponentially.
strong. Listen, you can leave the top off that joker, and it still be strong as hell. I'm telling you, ain't nobody hitting on that. They hit like McDonald's Sprite. I'm telling you.
It's that McDonald's Sprite, right? That's the strong stuff.
That's liquor. I'm telling you. That is liquor.
Straight up acid.
It will burn your throat, okay? I'm like, why y'all giving this to kids? Bro, this is moonshine. Be strong as hell. Your eyes be watering. How y'all gonna get at the kids?
Right. That's like the
Like,
old burners and stuff.
oh, where you
I just the
from?
burn your nose. You couldn't
Where
even
you
drink it
from?
regular. Huh?
Where you from?
I'm in Detroit,
I want to
Michigan.
go put the money along 6 Mile Brick Road. I got
Everybody,
this down, look at
everybody
that.
go right
Like a
to
back down, look
everybody
at
go
that
right to that
down.
verse. Off of
Oh
Joy
no, I
Road,
like
they say.
Cash Dow. I like Eminem. I like Big Sean. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
Michigan too.
Oh, you in Michigan too? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm in the UP though. I mean, not really the UP, but
Upper
like,
Peninsula, yeah.
yeah. Everybody, as soon as I say I'm in Michigan, they be like, "What's
They
up with
think of
Flint and Detroit water?" I'm like, "Sir,
right. That's the only thing they know.
sir, I live 4 hours away from them folks." Hey, do you know
Mm-hmm.
Dayton family from Flint?
You know what?
The Dayton family.
Nope.
You know Rio?
Rio.
He a
I
rapper.
know a dude named Rio, but nah.
Um. Okay, so I'm from Saginaw, the
Oh,
Sag
Saginaw, Michigan,
Nasty,
yeah.
the Saggy Nasty,
No, everybody got the sweet names, right?
the Sag Nasty. But I fool around. I love Michigan. Michigan raised me, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm from the city the whole time. I'm from Buena Vista though in Saginaw. I'm from BV. Heavy on the township, not too much,
Not too much, not too
not too
much.
much. So listen, I keep it cute. I keep it cute. But if I gotta mess around and fool around and hit you with the 1-2, I got you,
Not the
love.
1-2, not too much on that.
Baby, the 2-piece with a biscuit, okay?
Oh my. Scared to know what the biscuit is.
You
That's a
don't
whole
even
foot.
want to know. Listen,
That's
I keep.
the black Nikes.
Oh, bro, it's giving very much East Side Black Nikes. You ain't lying,
Right.
and you didn't lie.
Exactly.
It's giving shiesty.
Right.
That's why when you said Verners, I'm like, that's a Michigan drink. So you got to
Right.
be
I be
somewhere
forgetting that
close.
ain't right. I'll be forgetting that ain't.
Yeah, that's a
It seems
Michigan
like that's
drink.
worldwide.
No, it's not. It's a Michigan, like just like Better
Like
Made chips.
Lay's potato chips, I think that's or Better Made.
No, it's
I
Better
think it's Better
Made
Made,
that's from
yeah.
Michigan. Better Made. You know,
Yeah. Okay.
Superman was like the Superman ice cream. That's from Michigan too. Everybody
Mm.
don't have that.
Mm. Wow. I'm learning some
So,
stuff.
so when we say certain stuff, they be like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Y'all don't know what Superman ice cream is?"
Mm-hmm.
And they be like,
Go to
"No, like
bed. Go to bed. I see somebody. Yeah, I see you. Oh man, she beat me. I was just looking at my. Wow. Dang. She
I
got me.
mean." But one thing they can't say about Michigan, we done created so much stuff and made it our own and remixed it. Like
Mm-hmm.
y'all is not playing with Michigan. Y'all can say what y'all want about the murder men, but y'all can't hold like we here. We here.
Right. What you still doing up, TT? You going live, TT man? You go live? I'll come in there with you.
So I come in there and sit with her. I love a good laugh.
You have you ever seen? Oh no, you have never seen Kana before? Her live?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I was just trying to say how you pronounce that.
Yeah, I know. It took me. It took me. I kept saying it wrong too when I first met her, but I made sure I learned it though. After
She
I
pretty.
touched her left hand, her left leg already, I was like, let me learn her name. I gotta
She
know who I'm holding on to.
she pretty. I can't lie. She pretty. I looked at that picture and I just followed you. You pretty.
Hmm. Yeah, she don't have to half dress to get attention on here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and they be so ratchet with it too. That's what
Man.
really be like. It just, it just be so classless. Like they be doing the most.
Right.
Like
That's a lack of self-esteem, man. That's all it is, man. A lot of
I,
people need
s-
validation from other people and stuff, so they gotta do what they gotta do, I guess.
Laugh. I
Still
ain't even
don't love
gonna
themselves.
hold you. I swear to God, on my good leg I got left, I seen a girl and I came in her live and she was clapping her butt cheeks, like making a loud noise. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
Like, what's that smell? It's like, no, don't get
he said, what's that smell?
that. Why the house is energy
But
change?
she was clapping her booty cheeks. It was loud too. It sounded like her hands. Like
Oh my.
it was like, I'm
So,
like, what are you
boy, with
doing?
so much talent, so much talent. They call that talent nowadays. That's the sad stuff.
I be scared to say something. I just walked out because I'm like, I can't upstage the round of applause from your cheeks, my boy. Like, what was that? Like,
Not that. Oh my. Like bloom, bloom.
it was
What they used to
loud
have,
too.
come up Lunda. Kev, you see that girl walking around in the mall exposing her. Oh my. No, I didn't see that one. You got me on that one.
Well, I
There's
see it.
so
Listen,
much stuff on here,
how,
man. Yeah.
how do you
I
say
see
her
that
name
one feminine
again?
code put.
How do you say her
Huh?
name again?
Kana.
Kana. I was I was at Walmart, y'all. Story time. Once upon a time, the other day, I was at Walmart, right?
Hmm.
And this lady came in there with panties on, like it looked like panties. Like she came in there with like the boxer panties, like the women know what I'm talking about, like the
Oh,
box.
I know what you're talking about. Them little boxer things they
Yeah,
trying to.
the
Yeah.
panties, and she was all in the fruit and vegetable aisle touching stuff, and I'm like, I don't even want to be here no more. I don't even want no fruits and vegetables. Like, why you ain't got no clothes on? And she was
Oh
walking with
my.
her child. Like, that's so nasty. Like, that's just
Yeah.
trifling. And then people want to like, oh, don't judge nobody. I'm not judging you, but why is you naked in public?
Yeah. It's the world, man. I mean, it's like you can blame them and don't blame them at the same time because everybody don't got that mentality. That's why I'm trying. I actually be trying to be light on say talking bad about people or something like that because I realize that everybody don't got the same mentality as me unless they just throwing that energy or something like that, but but every now and then I just realize that a lot of people just got brought up certain ways or whatever and just really don't know no better. They feel like this is really them, and a lot of people that is not blessed with an open mind. I'm gonna put it that way. A lot of people is they stay stubborn in what they is and they just follow the masses really. So that's
I
why
mean,
we here today to try to open people try or at least help them out to learn a little bit from a different way or different perspectives and stuff. But some people it's just too deep into their situations.
I get that, but ain't nobody raised you up to wear panties at Walmart. Ain't
I
I
mean, if
don't
they mama
care.
like that, like what you expect?
I mean, all I'm saying is you gotta have some type of decorum about yourself. You have
Got
to,
to, yeah.
because people gonna treat you the way they see you. Because
They
people
are.
are we are very much one track minded when we see things. Like if
Yeah.
we see it, we're gonna treat you a certain way. We're gonna prejudge you.
Yeah.
So if you
You
butt
right about
naked
that.
at Walmart, I'm not gonna trust you. That's
Mm-hmm.
scandalous. That's shisty. That's ratchet.
Yeah.
That's hood rat shit. I'm be
That's
honest.
They don't even know what respect is or loving yourself is and all that. When you gotta do all that stuff, that's why I had mentioned something before. I said when you get to a point where you gotta sexualize yourself to get attention, you really don't love yourself. You know what I'm saying?
And
Because
it be
if
the
you really
wrong
love yourself, you ain't gotta do all that.
but it be the
But
wrong attention that they crave, and
be the
that's the
wrong one.
bad
Yep,
part.
Hi,
exactly. They get mad about it too.
It's the wrong. I'm sorry. Londa, I'm so sorry. She was trying to talk. I'm very sorry.
Oh, Nanda, welcome to the live. Hold on, let me get you. I got something real special. I got my new sound real quick. Welcome to the live. It's Londa 68. How you feeling?
thank you very kindly. I wanted to ask the sister that was talking, okay, do you think that what Beyonce wears on stage is ratchet?
I mean, it's a difference from putting on the show for a concert and walking around every day like that. That's a total different thing. So a concert is meant to please the crowd. It's meant to please the crowd solely. They come
But
there to
does
make money and please the crowd. But if
does,
Beyonce was walking around with that every day, of course, I would have a problem with that because as a woman, you shouldn't have to show your whole body to get validation from anyone.
but does not Patti LaBelle have concerts and she's fully dressed?
I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with people wear for the crowd because Tina Turner used to walk around with a mini skirt with a bunch of bells and shiny stuff and heels on, and she was in a mini
Yeah.
skirt. So
Well, what
And
I'm trying to get to is this: is that when I was younger, when you go to a concert, people were fully dressed, and so
I was about to say, right.
and so it's when you have entertainers, the entertainers have a lot of influence on people.
Exactly.
Especially if they're weak-minded people. So when they see her on stage half naked like that, many times she's had her buttocks hanging out of those litards.
yeah,
And so when you have people like that that are the influence and you love those people and follow those people, then you don't think that you're being lowly. You think that you're in crowd. You think you're what's happening. You
I
know,
Hmm.
mean,
I'm
but if
gonna say
you influenced by entertainer, like I mean, there's nothing we can really do because you can be influenced by Elvis and walk around with bell bottoms on, a one piece bell bottom suit. I mean, if you're influenced by entertainers, that's a whole different subject.
when I was younger, and I'm 55, but when I used to go to the beach, I used to see the YT people with their butt outs, little G strings all the time on the beach. And they do it to this day. But when we begin to do things like that, we're shamed for it. And I'm not saying that it's not right or it's wrong. What I'm saying is you have to look at the age of these people, the mindset. Some of these people out here have real mental issues. I
Yeah,
mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
issue. Look at the
sure,
interview
huh?
where the young lady unalived her boyfriend because he didn't want to do what she wanted him to do. Well, it's sick out here, and you have to be very careful, even who you let hug you, because that energy can rub off on you.
Yeah.
Hey, now, Miss Londa, if you don't preach, give her some hand claps.
Right. Exactly. Do I got some of those? I do.
Give her some hand claps
Hmm.
Okay.
because that
I
is
feel you
very
on that.
that's very much true. I'm finna hit on one thing you said, and then I'll elaborate on the second thing. The first thing you said, and I totally and wholeheartedly fully agree with that because people are influenced by what they see out here, and you got to
Hmm.
understand, like people keep saying I look like Sukiana. I had to look her up. And this is the most ratchetest woman in the
That's funny.
world. I'm like, no, like that's not
That just
me.
made me laugh. I'm sorry. I think
And
I
I'm
did just look
like,
at your profile.
I look like her, don't I?
You look like a dark skinned version of her. I ain't never thought about that. That's too funny.
And so everybody always said like Sukiana. So I looked up her music and I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to give out to the world. That's not me. Like, don't don't do
Why you
that.
had to say that? Now I can't
Because
unsee it. Now it's over.
everybody keeps saying I look like her. So like I had to
Oh
look up her
my!
music and I'm like, I'm not eating nobody. Okay. So
It wasn't
whatever
even her music that made her famous. It was her
being ratchet.
ratchetness. She was the top
Yeah.
ratchet chick out of, that we known to this day. She's like one of the top ratchet chicks.
And the top ratchet chick of my time was Trina, and she wasn't even that ratchet.
Man, no, yeah, Suki Hana on a whole nother level, or Cardi B and all. Cardi B between them.
Bro, she said
But
she used to drug dudes to steal their money. Like I didn't grow up in that time period though.
oh my,
And so like what
that's too
Mrs.
funny. I can't click on your page no more. That's gonna be funny.
what Miss Londa really was saying, and she was trying to get across is that you don't have to show your body to sell your music. And a lot
Exactly.
of women really think that. And a
Sex
lot of
sells.
young girls out here think that they have to give everything they have just to sell their music. And you don't have to get bucket naked. You don't got to get bucket naked.
Right.
But because women have a small, like, It's only 1% in this whole music industry. It's 1% of women that make good music. 1%. So they feel that because we have such a small lane for music for women, that they gotta do everything just to sell it. And I understand it. Like, I get it. I don't want to walk around and see women dressed like Beyonce. I don't want to walk around and see women out here like Suki Hana. I don't want to see that. But at the end of the day, they just making money.
Well,
So I
no,
think,
it's not just making music, sister. What it is they're pushing an agenda. It's
Mm.
just like when I was younger, no one talked about, matter of fact, and maybe some of you who are my age, I'm 55, a girl with a big butt was called funky back in the day. She was not called attractive or beauty. You're beautiful. That agenda came along when I forgot that rapper name. He came out with I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Boy.
Then it started. So it wasn't
Yeah,
always
yeah.
right, exactly. And so they're pushing an agenda of sex. And so that's why you see all this stuff happen, the women walking around half nude. You don't have to be undressed to get attention. You can scream at someone and get all the attention you want. If I start screaming at my husband in a supermarket, everybody's going to look. So it's messed up. It's really messed up what we going through. But you're going to see more of it. You're going to see worse of things than this. I've from the time in the 80s. The 80s was my time. Okay, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm not angry at young girls for wearing little short skirts and stuff because I did it. I didn't wear them as short as they do it now, but I was in fashion. With the mini skirts and the skirts and all that. And so I think that they just need to be educated. And remember, a lot of what we see in these young girls now are just what they call it a fad, and they will change. You're going to
and,
get
and,
too old to wear that stuff.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's true, Miss Londa. But you also have to understand that people people can like have their own agenda. Like, so you'll see people before they get a contract, right? And they could be normal, they could be this, they don't have all of that. And once they sign that contract, those people will make you live a certain way to sell music. So all women don't come in the game. Like when Beyonce first came in the game, they was overdressed with Destiny Child. She was overdressed. They had long skirts. They was covering their body. You ain't really see them too much with like they stomach and belly out and none of that. But once you sign a contract, you are physically those like you become that person. Once you sign a contract, you indebted in that contract. So
Right.
sometimes those men, because of how they see women, they want to make you live a certain light or sell certain albums. So they will underdress these people. So it's not how they came in the game, you know what I mean? Like being that way. But sex sells. It does.
Yeah, it do. Most
Sex
definitely.
sells. Like a woman, when she comes in the game, ain't no like just like MC Light, just like Queen Latifah. They came in the game in the 90s where women had full clothes on, dashikis, everything, nice hats, just dressed to the T's with a snapback on, and they was just rapping their heart out. But now it's not like that. Like sex sells. Like in our time period, the less you have on is the better.
But you have to look at the rappers and the time that they came out. Queen Latifah came out in the 80s in the time where black people were looking for empowerment.
Yeah,
And
Mm-hmm.
so Beyonce came out in a time where a woman is free to express her sexuality, and
right.
so that's why you have all that. So when you see a person at the market dressed like that, know that they're either psychiatrically challenged or they're looking for something because you have to. Not all people. Well, let me put it this way, make it faster. Sometimes when women dress that way, they're not necessarily looking for attention. Some of them are actually looking for a favor. And I don't want to say it on his live, but you know what I'm talking about, man and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
woman.
Yeah, I know.
They're
Or
actually
or
looking.
Yeah, I was about to say, or some of them is just that's their only way of knowing how to get attention and stuff because that's how they got taught or brought up. A lot of people just don't know it's multiple ways, or they really don't know what they looking for. They just know they know they know they looking for love, but they don't know what love is type situation or whatever, or they just want to be happy or they want to just fit in or something like that. A lot of people just limited to what the information they got because of what, like I said, what they got taught or what they got brought up with or what their friends been telling them, their influence and all that stuff. So yeah, all that do play a part for real. That's what it is.
My
Yes.
Just like me back then, I used to probably wear hats and stuff, so that was the cool thing back then or whatever. I'm like, let me do this and that or whatever. It's just stuff that I thought because I didn't know.
right. And Mr. Laugh, I want to say one thing to you. The reason that I don't judge people, like you dress how you want to. I can say what I want to, but I would never judge you. You know what I mean? Like that's your burden to bear.
Hmm.
So I grew up in the era where we used to wear jersey dresses and socks with the balls on the back with our forces.
They said what?
Like my era where we wear big baggy clothes, Coogee, and we used to wear jersey dresses with the balls on the back of our socks with the forces on.
Hmm.
I don't wear none of that today. You know what I mean? But that didn't define me. Like it was just a fad. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a facade. Like that's what's going on right now. Like if you ain't naked, you ain't making no money.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
I
Like
feel
it's
you
a
though.
lot of women out here that want to be fully dressed, that want to do all these things. But because they are in this light as being a entertainer, they have to do what's going to make the money. And most
It's
people make
survival.
most people make their money from concerts because that's when they get the biggest payout.
Hmm.
And so to sell concert tickets, you got to give somebody a show. And what people want right now is naked women.
Well, Lizzo sure shouldn't be naked.
I mean, she don't be naked, but she wear bikinis and she wear the skin tight clothes and she wear see through stockings and she gape her legs wide open and start twerking on stage. So I
Oh
mean,
no.
at the end of the day, regardless of your size, your color, anything, right now for women, sex sells. That's the era we in right now.
Hmm. It is. It
Now,
is.
to your one of your questions, the topics, it says, "Do you believe it is a dominant gene?" I know for a fact it is, and let me
Okay.
explain how I know. I used to have these dizzy spells, and so I went to have an X-ray done of my brain because I didn't know why I kept experiencing it. Maybe because I was in menopause or whatever. At any rate, I got back the test results and everything was fine. They gave me the medication for it, temporarily. But there was something, I can't remember the name of it. There was something in my lab work that said something about having a thick skull. And it
Mm.
said, I looked up what it was. It says usually it's comes from the female side of the family. And it says that it is a dominant gene. It also said that that's why they get the name thick-headed. That's where that came from.
Hmm.
So I believe, in fact, I know that it's a dominant gene.
Okay. So that I think what I was meaning that is like, because I know they be saying like different race or certain races got, uh, I forget it. Let me just get straight to it. They just saying that, especially I've been hearing about scientists say that black is a dominant gene or whatever, stuff that dealing with black is a dominant gene, right? So I think my whole point of this project, because like I said, I'm big on my whole thing is really big on unity, and I be trying to always look at similarities and things, and I be trying to see what this war that we really in, because like we be in war with silly stuff, that we really don't know that much about. And me myself, I'm a firm believer by now all of us is mixed. So a lot of us like claiming stuff, and we think we 100% something because of the color of our skin, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I believe it's way deeper than that. I think like we mixed with a bunch of stuff by now. I mean, that was many, many years when people was actually purely whoever they was. But um, I say that either by now, if they do say it's a dominant gene, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think even the people that look YT to us. If it's a dominant gene, they've got probably a little bit of black in them somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So that means my whole point is that I think a lot of us are the same for real, but we just be segregating each other and separate each other just for, I don't know, just because of how we got raised and brought up or whatever. But I think a lot of us are the same. That's why I be love even saying like even with some of the stuff or the stuff that we separated from or whatever. I be looking at it like though a lot of us just because it's like I really judge like off the spirit for real. You know what I'm saying? Not off of how we look and all that stuff. So it's like because a lot of I realize that if you talk as you talk to more people, even if they don't speak English or not, a lot of us got the same mentality and stuff or the same thought process and all that stuff. So it's like it really ain't got nothing to do with our skin tone. You know what I'm saying? Or it don't have nothing to do with the genes or something like that. So it's like you know
There's a
stuff
lot.
like that.
There's a lot of fact in what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
The dominant gene, when they start to say black is the dominant gene, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's like the color black. If you take black and mix it with any color, black will supersede the color.
Oh,
So
it makes sense. Right.
yeah, so that's what they mean by that. And,
Okay.
I personally believe that there are only 10 personality types. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason I believe that is because they can make one car, okay? And millions of people, all different races, will flock to that car. They just want it
Mm-hmm.
in a different color. So I think, and that's why they're able to pretty much control us because they know that we'll fall for different stuff. They know that I believe
Mm.
use psychologists and psychiatrists in order to brainwash us into thinking, certain things and having
Mm-hmm.
certain.
Mr. Laugh,
Where did
I,
you go away?
No,
I,
I'm here. I was finished. I'm sorry.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
that just called me up. I thought you was okay.
Miss Londa, I believe what you're saying because I live in Michigan. And just like you was trying to like make the reference with cars and everything like that, I live in Michigan. So right now, the Hellcat Charger is like what everybody driving. Like everybody driving. Because people told us it was a good car. They ain't gonna tell you the bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna just tell you what it is. Like for me, being a person that was a welder and working in a plant, I know that the Hellcats are very much like cars. You can't drive it in the winter. It's gonna fishtail. It's gonna do all these things because it's light in the back and heavy in the front. But people only gonna tell you the good about something, never the bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you selling it, you ain't gonna tell them what they shouldn't do.
Like the Firestone tires, right?
Right, like you ain't gonna tell nobody the bad stuff about it. You just gonna want to sell your product, or you gonna want to sell what you want to sell. So
What's the deal, chosen one?
you ain't gonna see the background of it. You just gonna see what people is giving to you, what's on commercials, what you see.
That's
Because
like when they be saying that thing real fast, when they say all the bad stuff real fast or at the end real quick. Yeah, you can take
yeah,
this
about
pill. It's going to help you out.
medication.
And
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill you. They be like, what the, what did you
talking
just
about
say?
you're gonna
Next
have
minute you like,
nonstop.
my chest.
or make,
Right.
make the
And
Why
and
am I
Miss
pregnancy
throwing up?
and
small.
and Miss Londa, I wanted to say one more thing when you was talking about if you mix black with different colors. So like I used to think that way because that's what people told me, right? I used to think that way. But I'm married to a white tea man and I got 3 children, right? And the genes didn't work the way I thought genes would work because I seen all type of mixed kids. You know what I mean? Like, and you
Hmm.
could tell they was mixed or they had these curly, nice hair, or they had this, and that's the perception I had about mixed people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm married to a white tea man, and I have 2 children that look like him, and I have one child that looks like me. They're not in between. They don't look like the perception I had of mixed people.
Mm.
I
So
can't
my
explain that
perception
other
is
than
messed up because like I have 2 kids with blonde hair and blue eyes, and I got one that look just like me.
right, and I don't know why that happened. That may be there may be a gene in you that's YT.
Oh no, of course it is. My great grandmother is a white tea woman, and my great grandmother is Native American and white tea.
But we can't, that's what the brother was saying. You can't go by looks. You have to go by a DNA test. Once you did a
Mm-hmm.
test, then you'll see what the super gene is by doing
I
that.
get you on that. You talking about internal when you talk about genes. Okay, I get you. And then she's saying that about the external, which
Right.
that's why I be wondering like and so
No,
is I saw
I did a
huh
genealogy test. Like, no, I did
yeah.
one. Like, I know where I come from, but what I'm saying is regardless of where I came from, who I'm derived from,
Not you, your children.
genes,
No, she's talking about
genes.
she's talking about your children. Yeah, your children might have a lot of you in you. She's saying well, a lot of the black dominant gene inside of them, even though they look white on the outside. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what she's talking about.
That's what I'm
Okay, okay. I'm sorry, Miss Londa. I didn't get that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Which
I mean, but they're all your children though, right? Now I
hmm
have two children. They're by the same father, but
Hmm.
one looks like me and one looks like him. So I mean, it happens.
And they do,
hmm
and I be so mad because I was out here like, y'all don't even look nothing like me. I don't even know y'all for real. Like,
Say, who is your mother?
right? No, that happened to me, Mister Laugh. My youngest
hmm
son go to a private school, so story time. So he go to a private school. They come and pick him up from my house and take him to school. Well, one day we was running late, and I had to take them in, and the other people never really saw me, just the owner of the school, and they was like,
hmm
are you related to him? And I'm like, wow. Wow.
Wow.
I'm like, first off, one thing about me, I ain't finna steal nobody kids because they expensive.
What you doing with that kid over there? That's what they.
I was like, she was like, oh,
Police.
I was so baffled. I'm like, first off, if I steal something, it definitely ain't gonna be a kid.
That's funny.
I'm like, yeah, they really be thinking that like my last two kids, they do not think that I'm the mom. Like when they see us together, people ask me, have I adopted them? People ask me, am I a foster mama? All type of stuff. And I'm like, first off, they look like they daddy, but not too much on me. They be eating me up. Oh, I be
I know
sitting
that's a
here.
lot.
I'm like, the only thing they got from me is my nose. Oh, most
This ain't fair. I did all this work.
right. Listen, I had to be pregnant for 41 weeks just to have a kid that don't even look like he even know me. Like,
Mm. Who are you? I
like,
came out of you, but who are you though?
yeah. I mean, they got my Miss Jess. They got my heart. They such sweet babies, but we
Mm.
get subjected to a lot. So I done seen it all, heard it all, been around it all. But like at the end of the day, I call them my little gangsters. Like I be like, them my little gangsters, them my little woadies. Look, my son was so beautiful for Mother's Day. I almost cried, y'all. I don't cry about nothing. Okay. So for Mother's Day, my son brought me home from school. You know them old school paper plates. You know the little ones I'm talking about.
hmm
He put a little slice of pizza from a construction paper on it, and it said, "Mama, you stole a piece of my heart." And I was like, "Ee!"
It's,
I almost let it go, y'all. I almost let it go. I was to the cry. I'm like, look at my babies. They bought me a Batman hair comb. They daddy bought me a blow dryer. I'm like, okay, y'all like me a little bit.
so they did. I was about to make a joke. Nah, never mind. That's funny. Never mind.
No, say
Saying,
it.
because we don't need it, Show you something. This all we gotta do. You know what I'm saying,
Oh no, no,
Mama?
no, no, no.
It's like that.
They ain't got slick hair like that, like you think. They got my hair. Like they got
Oh, I was about to say, you made me think of some stuff though. Like the kids be like, "No, you need a comb. I don't."
Right. And then my kids got that texture hair where, like it's curly, but once you watch it, it look like they got small hair. You know what I mean? It like stick to their head. And as
Yeah.
soon as you like blow dry it or comb it out, it's all the way to their booty. I'm like, I ain't got time for this.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got carpal tunnel from braiding their hair. I really do. My hands be hurting and stuff. I'm like, listen, because y'all all finna be bald headed next week if y'all keep playing.
Damn, that stuff's not popping up in my room.
I love Miss Londa for coming in here and speaking the truth because she needed that
Oh,
period, dog.
Well,
And
I appreciate.
I'm
I
like
was.
Miss Londa. I
I
love
was.
Anita Baker. I like Betty. I like old school music. I don't know what they be talking about on this new rap music. I be having to ask what they saying.
Yeah, I was in another live, and the topic of that live was basically, I can't even remember, but it seems to be a new thing now where many African people are asking us to go back to Africa, and I'm
whoa.
not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what I'm going to do. One of the questions I wanted to know from them was because they're saying that the YT man did not, I mean, that they didn't participate in the taking of the Africans, onto the ships. They didn't participate in any of it. But then in a conversation with the Africans, they said that, well, slavery had already existed, that they would take over another group of people, and so that's the people that they gave away, their prisoners. So I said, well, then that's the case, then they took part in it then. And so I'm not sure what the reason is, but I don't know, maybe you all will hear it or you have heard it. Why do they want us to come home so bad? I mean, I know that they want our education. I know that they want us to take our money and invest it there, which I could never do it because there's too many poor people in that continent than it is in America. So the likelihood of you getting robbed is high. But my thing is that I really can't, I can't leave, I cannot leave this. I would never leave America without the rest of you all, my other black brothers and sisters. I would never leave this country without you because I would be too afraid that something would happen. And what if they rounded us all up? The few who were there and put us back on a ship to another country. I just couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, Miss Londa, if if we get together and you trying to go, I'm gonna go with you. We just need a passport. That's it.
I don't think
You
I'm gonna
ain't gonna
go.
never, you ain't gonna never
Think
leave
I'm gonna go.
anonymous.
I don't
But
think I'm gonna go. It's. I know how they feel about us. We've been here 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they've never sent us a Black History card. And to me, and I could be wrong, and I don't want any African to get upset. This has nothing to do with this man's life. This is my own personal thoughts, and so these are just my own feelings. Me personally, in 2019 is when they begin to tell us to come back home. Maybe they knew about the reparations before we did, because it's awfully ironic. At no other time did they ask us. Now that reparations was serious in 2019, now they want us to come home.
and Miss Londa, I want to debunk what everybody told you and what you've heard about it because most people of color are not solely from Africa.
I agree.
There are Afro indigenous people. My people are from Americas. I've looked up my genealogy and I know my great great grandparents. You know what I mean? Like I know all of them. I know them by name, face, everything. And when I looked up my genealogy and I did that little, what is it called, 23andMe, that little, the little test,
Okay.
I know where I'm from. I'm
Well,
Afro-Indigenous.
what did it say? What was your dominant place of what was your dominant gene rather? What country?
My dominant gene is YT and Native American,
Okay.
and I'm half and
Mm.
half. And then it just broke down from there because my family married other people of color. They didn't go back to marrying YT people. So
Mm-hmm.
my great great grandmother is from Alabama, Union Springs, Alabama, and Native Americans, like I said, has always been here. And so she met my grandfather. And when she met my grandfather, they had a baby. She came out looking mostly Native and not YT. And that woman got married to my great grandfather, which is a man of color. And after that, they only had kids of my color.
Mm.
So my the starting of my life is not the finish of my life. You know what I mean? Like I derive from YT and Native American people, but because my grandparents was like it's all about your surroundings, what you're around. And when my great great grandparents and my grandparents were children, they dealt with having to work for white tea people and having to like have farms and work for white tea people. So they end up marrying the color that they was around.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I try to see life from so many spectrums. I don't like to put myself in a box because we are all different. We are all mixed with something. Everybody can't say they
Right.
solely from Africa because everybody is not from Africa.
I agree.
Yep.
People don't realize when Harriet Tubman took people to freedom, she took them to Canada.
Mm.
So it's people that was born in Americas, but because the area they was in, they became slaves. And she took them to freedom to Canada. So that's why a lot of people of our color live in Michigan, Canada, Ohio, stuff like that, because they were brought up this way. But that doesn't mean they came from Africa. That don't mean they was on a ship. That don't mean they was on a Mayflower. That don't mean that they came here because pilgrims. We were just
It's funny.
susceptible to
I
like
think
what happened.
I think the pilgrims are the I don't want to say in his life, but if you look at the pilgrims and they are from the same place these other people are from,
Mm.
they look to me more like the people who rule the world. You
Because
know,
that's
Kanye West spoke about them. I won't say their name, but Kanye West spoke about them owning everything. So they look to me like the pilgrims. So my question is even on my profile, whatever happened to the pilgrims?
okay. So pilgrims were literally just Europeans that were trying to conquer every single country or continent that they came to. They just wanted to be like Armstrong, that was the first man on the moon, and be like, I found the moon. It's mine now. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is whatever happened to them. We know we talk about all these other races in the United States. Whatever happened to them?
Well, pilgrims ain't a
Mm.
race. They Europeans. Pilgrims is not a race.
I agree. I agree. But neither is what Kanye West said about those people who rule the world. What they call themselves is not a. I just see a lot of coincidence with them and the pilgrims. The
Oh,
high hat, all
you talking
that.
about Jewish people?
Well, yeah.
Okay. I get okay. I was trying to pick up what you was putting down. I'm sorry. You can keep talking. I was just trying to understand what you were saying.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if they are the pilgrims because there's no more history of them after the Mayflower and Thanksgiving. What I mean, did they just disappear off the earth? Did they get raptured up? What happened to them?
I mean, The Pilgrims were just a group of people on the ship, right? The Mayflower. They were just on the ship together, and they called themselves Pilgrims. It was just European people. It was Jewish. It was people from Australia. It was a lot of people. So it wasn't just like one group of people. So once they got here, they tried to create their own being of being in America. So now they're labeled this or that. And so my thing is at the end of the day, they are people like we are people. We can't keep living in our past because we will let our past consume us. We are all loved. We are all beautiful people, regardless of your color, your skin tone, anything. We are all the same people. We go through the same adversities every single day. So I'm the type of person where, like, I have children of both colors, right? I'm not going to teach my child how to be African American. I'm not going to teach my child how to be YT. I'm going to teach my child to be you. And if you have any questions about anything, just come to me, because you are not one or the other. You are both. So you in between. So people already going to see you how they want to see you. But if you have any questions about where you come from, your past, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, I am here. Just ask me. Because at the end of the day, everybody in this world is mixed with something.
Exactly.
Well, you know, I'm mixed as well, but I don't claim both of my heritages. I don't. And the reason why is because, like, my grandmother, she's YT, but I do not acknowledge that. I never knew her. I do not. She died, of course, so I can't see her now. But I don't claim that heritage. And the reason why I don't claim that heritage is because I live in Baltimore City, so I live in a predominantly black neighborhood. So for me, just me, my blackness that I live amongst, that I married a black man, for me, it's all about dealing with that which is black. Not that I'm racist, but I associate myself with being black and associate with black people because it is my desire to see them thrive. Now, I don't hate other races. I don't hate other races,
Choice.
but right, but I just connect with my race. And this is where I've been here in the same neighborhood, believe it or not, for 55 years.
I
You
get you.
know,
You connect with your surroundings and your environment. That's why I be.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
right. And so I'm always looking out for ways to change it. I wish that we could all unify. I always said that to me it seemed like black people are the entertainers of the world because we do well in all entertainment, whether it's sports or music. I think the YT people, I think they're like what do you call it? They're the explorers of the world. I think that the Indians, well, the
Native
ones,
Americans.
no, not Native Americans, the Indians in India. I
Oh,
think they deal with a lot of spices and clothing. And so I think that they may be the people who do that. I think God, when he created us, we all were here for a purpose, but that
Right.
purpose was that we would help each other, but we've just turned it into that dominant gene thing that the brother mentioned in his title.
Right.
And there are people who, but narcissist people who want to supersede everybody.
give her a hand clap,
And just
please.
like you said, I think we were divided not to stay divided. I think we were divided to unite at some point. That's what I believe. I can't see God keeping us separated for no reason and not teach our his ways to not bring everybody with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why we try to look at the spirit rather than blood or wrestling with blood or skin or blood, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, or not outer appearance. Is more of a spiritual situation that we
Right.
wrestling with.
And as a person who is biracial, it's hard to fit in because I don't want this race war that these people are that black people are talking about. I don't want that. I want unity for everybody. And
Right.
it's hard. It's like I fit in nowhere. I don't fit in nowhere. I'm too light to be black and I'm too black to be white. It's hard being a biracial person.
Right.
Oh, so are you like you very much like mulatto, like you in between, like
No, no, no. See,
um
see, see, people have a misunderstanding that all biracial people are alike. They're not.
no no
They're
no,
not.
I was just asking you a question. I wasn't saying like it was a because I got biracial kids that don't even look like me. Like they don't look mixed at all. Like that's what I was just asking you a question.
Yeah,
It wasn't
right.
like a
No.
stereotype.
I didn't think you were being offensive. Not at all. You don't seem like a person who would be confrontational. And then you lived the experience. So no, I would never have thought that. I'm speaking about those outside of this chat room. Who I've come across. And so I was just saying, I don't feel like I fit in anywhere because it's always a problem. I can't get on this hatred thing for any race of people.
Right. There you
Right.
go.
Can't
And
do
That's
it.
my whole purpose of this.
if you don't get on that hatred train, people are like down you for not wanting to pick a
Right.
side.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
I
Exactly.
totally understand that. And Miss Londa, I will tell you every single day of my life until I have one breath left, you are always welcome here or welcome in my life. When things like people come in my life and they start getting too much spicy, I'm like, baby, we don't do that here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that here. If you trying to bring your hatred, baby, take that up with the Lord. Don't bring it to my life.
Exactly.
But I bet
Thank
you we
God.
could unite if it wasn't about class. I believe it's more about classism because I noticed the ones who push all the racist things on this app. You go to their Instagram, they're upper middle class, living in the suburbs, and don't even know the struggle. I mean, all of them went to private school, and they say they are oppressed. I'm like, you went to a private school, upper middle class, and you want to project that you're like you lived in the inner city your whole life, but you went to your Instagram shows totally different.
Mr. America, how you just gonna read me down like that?
Well,
I went
I done figured
listen,
it out.
I went to private school and I live in the suburbs and I always have.
I done
And
figured it
Means that
out.
hit dog hollered quick. Yes,
right, like how he gonna read me down like that?
that's funny.
It's
Like Miss
easy to figure out because all you got to do is go to their Instagram. They link their Instagram, and you go to it, and you see where they live at. And you go and $500,000 houses. You like, and you are
Mm.
oppressed in America, and you live in a
Yeah, that
neighborhood of
jump be
Right.
five.
getting
Right.
to me.
hey
But
Mr.
they some
There's
of the
America.
an agenda.
But they
Right.
some
Mr.
of the biggest creators on this app. There's three of
Right.
them or four of them. They are some of the biggest creators on this app. And they
Mr.
got
America, are you
racist
from
tropes and
Alabama?
everything. South Carolina.
Oh, I thought I seen the Alabama in your name. I mean the picture.
No.
Oh, I thought.
That's a Atlanta Braves.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Alabama Road Tide, baby. I was gonna be on your board.
No,
Yeah, yeah,
well,
you're right about
no.
that, Mr. America. They're the ones who be promoting all this stuff, and they're living it big time.
Mm-hmm. That jump be wild.
But listen, let us not give them negative folks something to talk about, okay? Because if y'all want to live in that light and y'all want to spread misinformation, y'all do that on y'all time. We over here talking real talk. We not gonna sit here and let them people get the best of us because at the end of the day, like I told you earlier, knowledge comes from not knowing but learning. Ignorance comes from knowing and not trying to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I just listen. When I tell you, I will block them out so fast. Like as soon as you come in, listen. We not doing that negative. Take that up with Jesus or whoever you believe in. Allah, all them people. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum assalam. Whatever you doing, do that.
Well,
But
y'all
we
doing
ain't gonna do it
anything
here.
for tomorrow? Y'all doing anything tomorrow?
Um, I already got my father cooked some stuff for tomorrow, so we set him for sure.
Oh, good. Yeah, my
Snacking him.
husband and we're gonna cook out on the grill and sit in the backyard and play some
Mm-hmm.
cards or something.
Ain't no place like home, you know what I'm saying? It's very safe and, chilling with the fam or something like that. So, hey,
I
Right.
wish I had that. I miss that so
you
much.
do
So
have you do got a family. You
I mean,
just
no,
cook
no,
you
I'm
something
talking
in the
about
kitchen then, I guess, you know what I'm saying? You can make it happen. Make
like
that
my
imagination
husband.
work.
My husband can grill, but like I miss like being a kid and listening to Johnny Taylor and Sir Charles Jones and Anita Baker and all of them while my granddad barbecuing, my grandma in the
Mm,
house cooking, making some good food. I miss that. I really
mm.
do wish I had that growing. Like, cause man, it wasn't no time like that. You know what I mean? Like my granddad was in the back opening up him a can of brew, barbecuing, and my grandma was cooking and like making it smell good in the house, and we were just running around playing cards and doing all that. I miss that. Like I miss that. I do it now, but it don't feel the same as when my grandma and my granddad used to do it.
Yeah, I think we all miss our grandparents and how it used to be because I'm the youngest of six children. And even though I'm old, I'm still the youngest of them. And they're getting up in age, so they don't feel like doing all the stuff that we used to do, go to the beach, cook out together. They're up in age, so they're kind of tired. So I know what you're talking about, missing the good old days.
And Miss Londa, like I'm really saying that from like a hard place. Like I just lost my grandma 2 days ago, and I lost all my other grandparents, and it's just like
All right.
it's just me now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't got like you know what I mean. Like I don't got that no more. Like I can wish and hope and pray, and I hope that one day that I can become such a good person like my grandparents were, to like like be a good grandma. Because I feel like I'm raising my children the best way I can with what I have, but
You could be better.
I want to be a grandma. Like I be honest, like I want to like sugar the kids up and send them back home. I want to
I
be able
swear
to
grandparents is evil, so you got some evilness in them.
I'm
they
I
a
take it
they
back.
grandparent.
get
I
like
got four
I
grandkids,
wanna
so I know
like
what you're talking about.
I wanna fold a 20 or a $10 bill up in their hand and tell them, don't tell your mama I
Right.
gave this to you. Like like I wanna be a good grandma. Like I'm already succeeding in being a mother, but once I get to the grandma era, I'm finna show out. I'm finna be the best grandma. I'm putting on moo moos. We going all out with the granny stuff. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but that's the worst part about being a parent. Anybody asks you what's the worst part, or the best part's watching them grow up, but the worst part's watching them grow up also. Because I just had we got a 9 month old, and it's just like gone by so fast. It's like where's time gone?
How old are you?
I'm 42.
Oh, you was out there hunching. Yeah, my youngest is my youngest is way older than that.
He's making it happen.
Listen,
Well,
he was doing his
42 is
Never too
good.
summertime
old.
out
Yeah,
here in
yeah.
these streets.
Look, for coming from where I'm from, 42 look good. I'm
Listen,
55.
That's
l-
my
l-
first, though. That's my
l-
first.
listen, Miss Londa. One thing I could say about my beautiful people of all races, all colors, the people that are a little older than me and my like my aunties and stuff, y'all wear y'all age so beautiful. Like you
Oh,
can
thank
look at
you.
y'all and not even know y'all age. You know what I mean? Nowadays, these 19 and 20-year-olds, they doing all these drugs, doing everything they want to do. They be looking super old in the face. Like you be like, you 19?
And
I
they
thought
not
you
just
was
doing drugs. I
63.
mean,
Like
they smoked a lot of weed back in my day. And of course, they drank their Miller Lite and all that stuff. But the type
Hmm.
of drugs that these kids are ingesting today, a lot of it's coming from overseas. And so, it's mixed up with all kinds of trash. I just saw it on YouTube the other day. They have a new kind of drug that's on the street that they're warning people about. I forgot the name of it,
fentanyl.
but no, it's not fentanyl. It's worse than fentanyl. This particular drug, they said, will make you lose limbs.
Oh, I
It's
know what you're
crazy.
talking about. My wife, they had to do a training on that. I can't remember the name of it. It eats the flesh off your skin.
Hey,
Yes, right,
but
exactly.
But you want to know what now, Londa? I'll be honest, because I'm like, I'm in the era of like I'm right in between y'all and was it Gen Z? So I'm a millennial, so I'm right in between two generations. And I'll be honest, the generation after me and my little sister, she graduating on the first from high school. They don't treat life in certain things a certain way. It's normal to them. Like they can tell other people the things they doing. Like I watched one of my little sister friends have 6 pills on his tongue, and it was I don't want to say the word because I might get banana, but the Zans,
Mm-hmm.
and he just had 6 of them on his tongue and took them, and all they do is sleep. All they do is sleep off these things. Like they not here for nobody. Like they just living life pretty much in a daze.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna be able to look towards them for a future. You
Oh,
know,
we can't.
Medicare may run out. Medicare may run out, but they sure won't be filling it back up because it's a lot going on with them.
Right. And the crazy thing is just like Miss Londa was saying, is every day I go to work. When I look at my check,
So that profile scared me. I thought that was a real Nicole Swartz. I'm like, what the?
they take out
It's a
money
fan
out
page.
of they take out money out of my check for Social Security, right?
Hmm.
But from the way we going and listen to like the presidents and the senators and all of that, Social Security won't even be here when I have to retire.
Exactly, and
So the
now they're
only
trying
thing
to
I can
push
live
that.
off is my 401k.
Now they're trying to push the Fed now, and that's going to be a whole group of people are going to be left out. We're talking about sellers, and I'm not talking about legal sellers. We're talking about addicts. They're going to be left out. It's a lot of people going to be left out of society. And so what's going to happen to them people? Because my fear is that if they create that Fed now, which is an all digital currency, and they do away with the paper dollars, those people are going to break in me and your house.
Right.
Hmm.
And so I'm
And
scared about that.
we worried about that now because like you got to think about it. Like baby boomers, they went through recession, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
like it was the biggest thing in their time. That's all they went through. But they recession ain't as bad as the recession we going through right now.
Mm.
Ours is 40 to 50 times worse than what they was going through. And then you have to also understand that with that, things are becoming less unpopular to have, uncommon. Like you can go to a store and not be able to find certain things. You got to go to 4 to 5 stores just to find everything you need to survive.
I don't think we're going
And
through a
so,
recession.
yeah, we
I
are.
think
But we
I
are.
think
We
what
are.
we're going through is a transition from like everything going automotive.
I mean, no, we're going through recession. But with that recession, it's not the same as what baby boomers went through. It's not just like money, it's about things being hiked up in price. It's about not being able to find certain things that you need. It's about not being able to actually survive with those things. So now we have to become self sufficient to where we need to grow our vegetables. We need to grow these things. And at this point, what we're going through, we need to become vegetarians. Look at
Well,
chickens.
in
We
Maryland,
couldn't
where
get
I
no
live,
eggs.
you
Like we couldn't get eggs. We couldn't
in
get
Maryland where I live,
nothing.
you can't even grow food in your backyard, not even a small garden. They also charge us for the rain falling on my house. It's called the Maryland rain tax. So every time it rains, I have to pay for the rain falling on my roof.
But you see how crazy stuff getting because they running out of ways to charge people. Because
Oh
you got to
yeah.
understand the reason that COVID and everything was a thing, it was because it needed to be depleted. So they're trying to like make our community small because of what we going through. And it's too many people. So they said in the next 10 years, we will go through a World War III. And that's
Well,
that's like the time.
I don't think they care about poor YT people either. They don't care about them either.
No,
That's
it's not
why
it's
every
it's not about color. It's not about color. It's because we are overpopulated in America. But look at our habits in America
That's
and
not
look at other
true. That's
countries.
not true. They said everybody in America could fit it down in Texas. We would be elbow to elbow. But
Oh,
they
of
said it's
course.
plenty of land still available. And what about this land they found behind the ice?
That's why every time I go to the store, I'm buying seeds, I'm buying ammo, I'm stocking up. I got my own goats, chickens,
Right.
cows, pigs.
I
I got
bu-
all
I
that.
bought the 20 I bought the 25-year shelf life food.
Listen, she ain't lying. Me and my husband was talking about this like maybe 2 or 3 days ago. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I don't think the same way I think. Sometimes my mind just go a little bit everywhere. And me and my husband was talking about it, and you see how they making food so easy to cook. Like they got air fryers, they got stuff to like cook food in a second. I'm like, next thing we gonna do is be eating MREs.
That's why you got to learn them skills from the old, garden and learn how to preserve meat and everything. That's why you kind of learn that kind of the old ways of doing things because everything ain't always going to be here.
It
Like,
ain't. He ain't lying. He's telling everything and the truth. Listen,
because I got intel, I got a former military guy that's from the inside, and he's telling us in the next year to 2 years that America's not going to look the same.
it's not. And that's why I tell people you need to learn how to can. Every time you go to the store, you see some mason jars or you see some jars that's meant to preserve things. Grab them. Preserve your food. Preserve your meat. Preserve your vegetables. Preserve your potatoes. Like, because at the end of the day, we really don't know what we're finna have. Because look at us. As soon as we went through COVID, people went nuts. They bought all the toilet tissue out the stores. It wasn't no food, nothing. And then you got to think about it. It's a lot of people that live on government assistance, so they can get $800 to $900 to $1,000 or $1,200 worth of groceries at a time. And if all them people in your city is buying all them groceries the day they hit, what do we have left buying groceries with money? Because we only can shop when we get money.
Yeah, but be honest with you, there was never a shortage on toilet paper, lumber, none of that stuff. That stuff was held back because I'm a truck driver. I've been to these. I go to all these places to pick up toilet paper, lumber, all that. They were stacked to the ceiling with that stuff during COVID. That stuff was piled up,
Yeah,
and
they
they
just
were
don't
just
put it.
holding
They
it
don't
back.
put it for people because like I'll be honest, like even in the job I work, I'm a store manager. We told to only show people certain things, right? And then we keep the rest, and then we finally put it out after it run out. You know what I mean? So in these companies, when we come in, we're taught to hide things from people. You know what I mean? And it's so sad because it's like, why should I have to do that? Like I created or I made these things for my customers to have. Why should I hide it from them? That's so wild to me. Like it really hurt my feelings because like people come in, they be like, oh well, they said you didn't have this. I'm gonna give it to you because it ain't doing me no justice being back here. I'm not gonna hide it. I mean, it's sad because that's how America is because they are really trying to deplete our country. They even tell you that when senators be talking and they be putting these little laws and these rules out, if you read in the fine print, like you just said, stuff be in the fine print, but it be worse than what they say it is. That's how it is. And they really want to get people off this earth. Like my grandfather and another person I know got the COVID shots, right? After they got them COVID shots, my granddad had a full-on stroke. A full-on stroke. I wasn't able to get it because I got epilepsy and I have diabetes, so I couldn't get it. But after my granddad was healthy. He never had no problems. This man go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week. Always been healthy. Dude got a 6-pack at 60 some years old. But after he got that COVID shot, he turned into a whole different person. Like
And I,
he couldn't walk, he couldn't
because
talk, he couldn't eat right. He was slobbing everywhere. Like after that shot, so it's not no good for people. People really think because the government, like you got to think, COVID started in March a couple years ago. It started like March 12th because I was out of town when it happened. I was in Grand Rapids. I was finna go to a concert. They closed everything down. We couldn't go to nothing. And
yeah,
then
I believe you because I took the COVID shot, and I'm telling you, about 2 weeks after taking the COVID shot, I had severe cramps in my legs. It was so bad that I had to sleep with my legs hanging off the bed. And I went and bought some compression. They had like this compression machine. I bought a compression machine and I start using it every night. And then it got even worse. I went to the ER because I thought maybe I had blood clots in my legs, and they didn't find any blood clots, but I kept using that compression machine for almost a month. And that's the only way I could get my legs to stop hurting.
and I mean, I don't want to scare nobody, but I had to work through COVID. You know what I mean? Because like I was scared to get that little money because I'm like, they gonna end up needing it. And now they trying to get people to pay the money back. And I told people, I'm like, don't take free money. I'm telling y'all what they finna do. And so I didn't take it. I just kept working through COVID. Like the whole, you know what I mean? Like the whole couple years of COVID. I ended up getting COVID 4 times.
Wow.
And nothing happened to me. All I had was a headache and I couldn't taste nothing. But if I would have got that shot, it would twice as worse. Like my grandma went in the hospital because she had a heart attack, right? She was good. She went in the hospital, ended up getting COVID. And because she already had pre-existing conditions, she passed away from COVID.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
So
that.
I've seen the worst of it. And so I try to tell people, I'm like, this thing is literally meant to get us off the map. Because if I never got the shot and I already got pre-existing conditions and I had COVID 4 times, nothing happened to me. But my grandmother, by her being older and she had pre-existing conditions and she got the shot, it took her out. And then I watch the news so much because that's the type of person I am. I like the news. And people in mortuaries was talking about it. Like they had a whole conversation about it. And it was like every person that is passing away from COVID, when they do their little, you know, like exhuming the body and everything, they was like, it's this like black substance in they skin or under their skin or in their body after they get that shot. So it's not helping you. It's slowly declining you. It can affect your heart, your lungs, your liver, your pancreas, your brain. And you got to think, COVID happened overnight. And people came up with a cure within a month of it. When the flu was a thing back
Hey,
in
y'all, real quick before we get too deep, because I don't
Mhm.
know how they be on that though. I'm gonna reset the live real quick because I want to say this live. So just
Okay.
give me like 1 second. If y'all follow me real quick. If y'all not following me, third child, my boy, third child finally woke up. It's my mind. Oh yeah, y'all follow me. Just got here for sure. So you right, you just got. I'm about to reset the live real quick because I want to say this stuff. We had some good talk though. But yeah, I see y'all follow me and stuff. I'll be right back. Just give me 1 second.